Big hair day, big hair day. I know. It's like literal lion's mane. I can't do anything about it. I'm sorry. I was traveling and I didn't bring my shampoos with me, and this is what happens when I just use the shampoos that they give you complimentary at hotels. Just kind of explodes. Hey, Rukaki. Well, King. Okay, thank you. Defunks. Oh, Defunks. You are the person, question mark, who was sending me the altars from Discord. Is that you? I unfortunately have not received them in the mail yet. I hope that they didn't go missing, because I feel like we talked a while back. But I think that was you. Okay. I can't wait to see those in person. I do hope they're coming. Oh, alright, people. Well, today is just a mix of so many emotions. For one, I'm recovering from a horrible, horrible cold or something. Maybe just general fatigue. But after this weekend of just nonstop socialization, outings, gameplay, all that, my body crashed. Like, my Monday was just awful. Horrible headache. Ears were, throbbing, like that kind of sickly soreness in your throat that's kind of dry and gross, like you have a cold, nose running. It was so bad. And then to make it worse, it didn't really clear up by Tuesday, and then I had to drive 7 hours back home. So, just feeling kind of awful coming off of a very great weekend. Very great weekend. And there's a lot of things to say about this weekend. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out. Oh, oops. You guys can't see the screen. 1 second. There you go. There you go. And there are a lot of things to say about this weekend. Good things. First and foremost, shout out to Man Sant, who got first place at the cosplay competition at the Battle Hardened in Columbus. She cosplayed as Ghostly Touch, which, to be fair, I completely made it for her. She's not really into cosplay, but, I was busy with the event, so I forced her to do it. I thought it turned out pretty good. She was really embarrassed about it. She didn't stay in the costume for more than 20 minutes, but it was enough to get judged, get entered, and then actually win first place. So this was our attempt. Ghostly Touch. It was a mix of some store-bought stuff that I cut up, glued some extras on, spray painted it with this shimmering silver. Her hands were, of course, silver. These tombstones were just Halloween things, but then I added foliage to them and spray painted them, and it was, it was all right. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. She didn't even know what she was cosplaying as, so someone actually gave her the card to carry around, because otherwise people are like, oh, what are you? She's like, I don't know, some fab thing. So, yeah, she not the most excited about this whole ordeal, but yeah, she did win first. So, shout out to her for getting that win. It was a lot of money, thank goodness, needed it. Next thing to talk about. Do I really have an image I can pull up? Not really. 983 media. I do want to get to this VOD. I definitely want to get to this VOD right here. But we'll pause for that for a second. Let's see, what else happened over the Battle Hardened this weekend? Me too, they look even better in hand. Don't know if I have the receipt, but it wasn't tracked because it was going to be hella pricey. It's only been a week though. Okay. Well, then I'm hopeful. Where were you shipping it from? Are you in the US, Canada, Europe? Don't know. But yeah, other parts of the weekend here. Let's see. In the Battle Hardened itself, I didn't do too hot. I started pretty strong at 4-1, so I felt really good. I'm from the island that's trying to kill itself right now, UK. That's one way to describe it. You guys have a new prime minister. Oh yeah, he's the richest man in the UK, too. And now he's prime minister. He's got it all. Anyway, I was going into... Yeah, let's see. I was going into the Battle Hardened with Levia, of course. It was this mixed Levia. Let me pull up the list, actually, so we can look at it. Also, I really am, still sick. I feel just groggy as heck, so apologize for all over the place how this commentary is going. Where was it? Was it this one? Was it this one? Yes. It was this one. Okay. I did play this version of Levia at the Battle Hardened. And It performed pretty well. I went into it 4-1, so felt pretty good about my chances of making top 8. I just needed to play 3 more games. We did 8 rounds, I think, so 3 more games. The deck had been performing great up until then. It took a loss against Briar, which was just kind of a crazy variance loss, but then we replayed it, and I actually did beat the Briar. So in my head, I was like, 4.5/ and a half. Because on paper, it was a loss, but I actually did win that game when we replayed it. So I felt decent, like the deck was really performing well. But then as we got into the later rounds, the Levia variant started coming up super strong. So from 4-1, we then lost our next round, the 6th round against an Oldhim. And honestly, the Oldhim didn't do anything special. It was just kind of your normal aggro Oldhim. The only issue was my deck just had no good hands for the majority of the game. When Oldhim had his big pressure turns, I just had clunky non-blocks. I couldn't really return anything of threat. And so we got pretty quickly down to low life. He was like at 3, and I was also around there. But I had no way to claw myself back into the game because Levia was stuck in that spot of, well, you need to turn off Blood Debt every turn. And so I wasn't able to get like one more last pivot to make him full block and actually win the game. So even with like a really slow start compared to a very aggressive Oldhim start, still got him down to 3, but just kind of lost that game from the beginning. Really didn't feel good, even by like hand 3. I'm like, oh, well, I've got no damage, so I think we do just lose. So that wasn't great. So then we were 4-2, and then the next round I played into, I think, a Rhinar at that point, and I did beat the Rhinar, but it was a crazy game where I had to basically just hope and pray he didn't find Reckless, and because I couldn't block around Reckless. It was just like one of those non-block hands or whatever it was, and I had just seen him pitch a Reckless, and I knew he was on 2, and so we play like the next 6 hands out, and he doesn't find a Reckless, and I'm just thinking, oh my god, like this must be my lucky day. Like he's just not finding Reckless. I guess I'll eventually win, and then I do eventually win by like turn 6 or 7 after I saw him pitch Reckless. It was just a huge grind. He full blocks out, tries to draw Reckless. Full blocks out, tries to draw Reckless. Turns out, though, when we checked his deck after the fact, he had pitched the other Reckless right before the second Reckless. Or not pitched, but like sunk it with a Sink Below. Or maybe like an Opt or something. So he didn't remember that, and I didn't see that because it was a hidden effect. So actually, both his Reckless swings were like kind of right at the top of the deck. So, yeah. There wasn't actually anything he was really playing for. It was just a mistake. So he should have tried to actually pivot the game, not wait for Reckless, because I guess he just forgot that they were right next to each other. But anyway, won that game, and then we're going into our last round. And kind of crazy, because, if I win this game, I'm not top 8. I'm X2 right now, 5-2. So top 8's unfortunately out of the question, but I could still make top 16 for the big money. We go into the last round, and it's an Oldhim again. And it's more of a not fatigue Oldhim, but it's not as aggressive as the other one I faced. And we're playing through it, and the game's very even. We get into a really good spot where all of a sudden Oldhim just says no blocks. And on my turn, yeah, it was a good turn. It was probably like Dread Scream or Graveling or something. And Oldhim goes low. And if Oldhim's going low and saying no blocks with a 5-card hand, they have Oaken Pummel. They have it. And I'm like, all right, so you've got Oaken Pummel? And my opponent's like, yep, sorry, you called it. And sure enough, they have Oaken Pummel. And it takes away my turn, but I have my arsenal set up so that I actually am able to turn off Blood Debt, return another attack at them. But once again, they say no blocks. I'm like, what is this? How is this possible? Did you actually get Oaken Old again? Because this is first cycle, by the way, not set up. And she goes, yeah, sorry, I totally ripped a second one. And so Oldhim goes down to 1 life or whatever it is, but then has another fused Oakenold right after their Oakenold Pummel, and the game just disappeared. That was very unfortunate. That was just unlucky, unfortunately. Not really anything I could do about that. So there went top 16. In the end, I made top 32. I ended up at 25th at a 5-3 record, which a lot of people are like, oh yeah, that was great, good showing with Levia, but honestly, it sucked. I was really unhappy with 5-3. Because I feel like 5-3 is that's a very low effort record for where I am with Levia. I can probably go 5-3 if I just kind of half-ass the day, but I was really trying. Really, really trying. And it just came up where the 2 games I guess in theory, all 3 games that I lost were just things I didn't exactly have full control over. I think it comes down to a lot of deck build, though. This build just legitimately has some issues that are worth acknowledging. With non-blocks, with weak plays if you're in any position to have to block. And so one of the things I changed from like how Vasily would just play into Guardian was making it so that I'd actually go tall into Oldhim right now rather than go wide. Because Oldhim right now is really built to be aggressive. They will throw tons of disruption. And if you get caught on your clunky like non-block red hands, you just don't win that game and you don't present enough damage to do what Vasily's talking about, where you just force Guardian to block out and like fatigue them by the end with pitch stacking. That's actually just like not possible if you stumble even for one singular turn right now, because Oldhim is pummel, pummel, pummel. Oldhim is, rouse, maybe zealous again. That one's a little less common, but like they definitely run stalagmite now. They're not trying to fatigue you, and that strategy lines up way too well into you just hoping that even some of your subpar hands are going to force them to block out, because you don't have hit effects, right? So I changed my strat into Oldhim by instead going tall. We've got like a baby recursion package of double Shadow Blasophet, double Howl, triple Writhing, and then I take out the triple Pulping, triple Wild, and the 1 Savage Feast, and it's very good. Like, that change makes the matchup so much smoother. You never are stressing of, oh my god, like, my hand can just get screwed by an Ice React, my hand gets screwed if there's a defense reaction arsenal, my hand falls apart to do a Stalagmite. It just relieves a lot of stress in that matchup, and it also gives you amazing high roll. Like, if you just open your Howls, the game's locked. So I really did like that change, where that's kind of your sideboard plan into Oldhim instead of Deep Rooted Evil, Dread Screamer. Because that's... Deep Rooted Evil, Dread Screamer is more for countering their fatigue strat, which, like I said, they just don't really do right now. Hey, Levi, you're here. What was the turnout? Oh, Levi, you know it. Okay, I didn't. 132? Yeah, that's the crazy part about that, right? Hey, Freddy. The crazy part about that Battle Hardened was that if you looked around the room, you would recognize at least like 60% of the people there. Like, more than half the people there were like names of some sort. And of course, shout out to Levi, who made top freaking 4 with Azalea at this Battle Hardened. This man's a legend, first of all. If you all don't know Levi, he is this Azalea fiend who then switched to Lexi, who then switched to Iyslander. But he's a Chicago area player who is just terrified. Or like, not he's terrified. Everyone else is just terrified of his Azalea. I'm not sure the world really got a taste of that yet until this Battle Hardened. He is insane. And the best part about it was that, how do you donate to my cause? Oh, Adam. Well, first of all, don't feel obliged, but I really would appreciate it. If you click on descriptions, there's like live tips, which will pop up and do all that. And you'll have my eternal gratitude, that's for damn sure, because this series of back-to-back trips is going to ruin me. But it's going to be fun. Yeah, so Levi got into this bracket where he's just like, I'm going to beat the Oldhims who don't know the matchup, and I'm going to beat everything else. And he was just absolutely correct. He was just absolutely correct. He even beat Michael Fang. Michael Fang on Oldhim. You would feel like that kind of player does not punt. But he just didn't know the matchup into Azalea, and Levi can actually win that kind of game. It's insane. Dude is insane. So yeah, that was really cool to see. Really cool to see. Unfortunately, not quite the run for Levia yet, but we were almost there. Our games just went a little sideways. Levi beat Brody, Michael, and Yuanji. Yeah. Deck Tech coming early next week on Spark of Genius. On Spark of Genius, interesting. Levi, you've got your own YouTube channel. What are you doing? But yeah, so that was really awesome to see. It was a big event just for that. The entire community was on the edge of their seat. Will Levi win this entire Battle Hardened? Unfortunately, he didn't. This Dromai player, who beat him in top 4, first of all, fantastic guy out of Canada. His crew was super friendly to me. They're like, oh my god, I love watching your streams. They're so informative. And even one of them is a new player who picked up Phi because of me playing it on stream, and he made top 8. He's new. He's new. He saw the Phi gameplay on stream, learned, and made top 8. So shout out to him. I forget his name. We could probably look it up, because I think he might have been the only Phi in top 8. But yeah, he learned right here on this channel, so, take notes. But the Dromai who got second is actually going to do a deck tech with me on this channel, probably coming Friday. And weird thing about that is, I don't really have any affinity for Dromai. I think it's a cool deck, whatever. But because I put the Peyton Battle Hardened top 8 Dromai deck tech, I guess now, I've got enough game in the Dromai base to keep putting out more deck techs here. So we'll do that. Thank you, Adam. Thank you so much, dude. And look at that. It just popped up. I Need to Eat is now $20 closer to that $200 goal, which would be incredible if we actually make that. Holy crap. That'd be great. All right, Levi, going to put out all the Azalea content. That is good to hear. That is good to hear. But yeah, so that was my personal Battle Hardened run. But what was even better than the Battle Hardened, because, like I said, my Battle Hardened, whatever, not that great. But what was a good result, play-wise, was, let's see, where is my tweet? Did I even post a picture with it? Oh, I didn't. All right, this is kind of boring to look at. But the second day, right, I actually thought it was a CC PTI event, so I was ready to play it right back with Levia on day 2. And then my friend Matt tells me, no, dude, it's team sealed. I'm like, oh, dude, team sealed? What? I don't want to play that. He's like, no, come on. Like, join me, like, find a buddy, and we'll win it, all right? Like, just play it. I'm like, oh my god, fine, Uprising sealed, whatever. It'll at least help my mechanics when I, get back to draft at Worlds. So I find a third, and the third is the one and only Tommy Fresh from Fresh and Buds, who's an avid Levia player. Actually, I don't think I've ever played against him. Obviously, I know him very well. Been on his podcast twice. But I reached out and was like, hey man, like, you want to be the third on our team? And let's just see what happens. And he's hungover as heck because there was a speakeasy on Saturday night. I mean, he's like chugging Monster. He still looks dead. We both get there late. So Matt is like filling out the team sealed pool with judges to help him because he's like, no, I swear, my friends are coming. We show up and we get second place. In 8 rounds, we get second place. I was playing Dromai in the team sealed. I went 6-0 against Iyslander, 5-5 Dromai, I'm pretty sure. And then I lost twice to god dang freaking Michael Hamilton on his Iyslander. And so I lost to them. I lost him once in Swiss, and then we lost to them in the finals, whatever. But what's unfortunate about our pairing is that one of the games I lost to him, I had a freaking mental boom. My game didn't matter anyway because my teammates had lost. So our Swiss game didn't matter whether I won or lost. So I kind of just like mental boomed it and just threw the game. So that was unfortunate because I could have actually tried a bit harder and maybe won that game. But then in the finals, Tommy wins and then Matt loses. So it is up to me to beat Michael. And the game was great except for one turn where I have like 4 Ashwings out and he's kept like a somewhat aggressive hand. He throws like a red spell. I think it was like a red Ice Bolt or something at me. And I have all reds in hand. And I just cannot prevent enough of it. I just can't. So, the choice becomes like lose 2 cards to soak a little bit and then keep like 2 reds so that I can pop off on my turn, but still just kind of get my turn stuck against a Frostbite. Or just like pitch it all into the Arcane, but then open myself up to when he just responds from Arsenal and then slaps me and I still have nothing in hand. So it was just a lose-lose. It was an all-red situation. It sucked, and that completely lost the game. And it was really unfortunate because it was first cycle. It was like kind of the end of first cycle, and I'd been purposely pitch stacking like, red 3 blue, red 3 blue to kind of carry me through with sand covers. I had like a sand cover in Arsenal I was waiting to use. I really thought I'd set up the game really well to close it because I was close to fatiguing him by the end of the game. He had like 1 card left in deck. But because of that singular turn where I couldn't prevent his Arcane, I lost. It really sucked. So, unfortunately, we didn't win, but we got second place at the Team Sealed 2K with Tommy, who was hungover as hell, Matt, who I think we carried in every single round. I think he won like maybe 1 round in Swiss. The dude was not having a great day. And then, yeah, me on Dromai, which is, I like playing Dromai, but my deck was not great. Like our Team Sealed pool, we easily had a really good Iyslander. The Dromai suffered. But, hey, I guess it didn't matter. I pulled it through. I pitch stacked like a fiend most games. really took the games long and won. So that was great. That was great, and actually bolstered my confidence in going into Worlds, because I can play other things other than Levia, and I can beat some really good players. Like we beat Yuanji's team. We beat the Freshen Pods team. We almost beat the Michael Hamilton team. Yeah, it was some good stuff. Good stuff this weekend. What days will you be at the calling? Would love to say hi. I mean, I'll be there the entire time. I'll be there from like Tuesday through Monday in San Jose. I'll be there a long time. Terry, hell yeah, I'll see you again, brother. That'll be good. Felt like I was trolling in Team Sealed. Ryan would ask me drill my questions, and I have no idea. Never played the hero. Hey, you guys did well though, Tark. You made top 8, so I wouldn't feel too bad about it. But okay, that's like a brief on what happened this weekend. All good things. All good things in the end. Not doing too hot in the Battle Hardened, but second in the 2K. That was alright. That was a good way to wrap up the weekend. The other thing that happened this weekend is the Goliath Gauntlet game came out. And this game is just straight depression. I watched it back. And my god, like, yes, there was a critical play mistake, which we'll get into. But it also is just a very depressing game. Like, I think this game being on the internet will just eternally tilt me, which is okay. I mean, I feel like Pablo probably thinks the same way about our game. But I do want to go over this because there's a lot that happened in this game that I don't think is obvious to anyone who doesn't play Levia. But from a Levia player's perspective, this game is like a freaking nightmare. So let me catch up to where that is. Here we go. The other unfortunate part about the Fab Goliath Gauntlet thing is that I had to submit my list pretty early so that the casters could like start to learn it and all that. And I really did not like the list. Like, I think it was like 4 cards off. I mean, in reality, this is not at all what I ended up playing, like even at the Battle Hardened. But yeah, it's just like, this is straight Vasily's playstyle. It's not my playstyle. So for that reason alone, I shouldn't have just locked it as is, but it's okay. But we've already gone over this list for the most part. The main thing to note is this is still with like Riled Ups, right? Still with Riled Ups, super low value card, but it's kind of just filler. It's only on 1 Reckless Swing, which actually I've been convinced to change because there are a lot of matchups right now where you do straight race, like Briar, like Fi. You can even get to a point where just by running double Reckless, you could cheese a win through anyone who tries to play around a singular Reckless. So I really think 2 is the right number right now. 1 is a little too hopeful. Not quite sure like where to move around that blue slot because it really does suck to start clumping Reckless. It does suck to clump it next to Eye of Ophidia. But it really is correct to start running 2 right now. Because if you're taking like the recursion engine, then an extra blue in hand is totally fine. Like, you're pitching that into Howls anyway, so it's never going to clunk in that regard. And then in aggro, it's just an extra win con you can play for, right? So yeah, there's just nothing wrong with going to 2 Reckless right now. And let's see. So the thing about Tarek's list is, you know, it was open decklist, so I looked through his list, of course, and it's a pretty old build of Fi. Like, lunging press is different, but like the flying kicks are kind of an old inclusion in how Fi operates. Beyond that, it's just Fi. Like, there is nothing going on in this Fi list that is really unique, but you know, what would you really expect that? Probably not. Like, Fi is just Fi. It's how it's built. The couple things I was trying to make sure I played around were, in theory, like a Razor Reflex blowout. In theory, like a Take the Tempo Chain Ender. Those are things that I was like trying to mentally make note of tracking. But for the most part, I really felt good because he didn't run Sync Blows. And him not running Sync Blows means my pulpings were free to hit. Because he's not going to side in That All You Got just to arsenal it and turn off a pulping. He's not going to do that. He might do that if he's running Sync Blows, but he's not. So I felt pretty good. The other thing I was a little worried about is if he really knows the matchup, he would take Pouncing Lynx, not Momentum. And I really didn't know what amount of practice he'd put into the matchup. The dude's like super blasé. The other unfortunate part about our scheduling on this is we were supposed to play on Friday. And he says, oh no, sorry, like I can't. Then we're supposed to play on Saturday. And he's like, oh, no, I can't. Let's play Monday. Then we're supposed to play on Monday. And then he says, oh, no, I can't. Pushes it back to a different time on Monday. I changed my whole schedule around for this. I'm ready to play the game on Monday. And he goes, oh, no, sorry, I can't do it. Let's play Tuesday. And I'm just like, dude, okay, this is a lot of rescheduling. Like, we have until Thursday to play it. So I don't like super hate it. Oh, wait, sorry. Let me pause this. Let me rant about this for a second. Like, I don't mind all the rescheduling, but that was like a lot. That was a lot, and I really messed up my Monday to try to accommodate him. And nope, he switched it on me again. And what I was worrying about behind the scenes is like, is he using all this time to like maybe mentally tilt me? Because I was getting a little annoyed. Or is he like using all this time to try to find more Levia strats, like watch my streams? I was getting a little worried. Like I did want to just play the game, just play the game. But we finally did get to play the game on Tuesday morning, which is when we recorded this. And the casters missed something already, if you listen to their commentary. They thought that I went first, which is not true. He won the die roll, and he chooses to go first and just arsenals, which I actually was so thankful for. Because I actually had like a double non-block hand, so I was really going to get blasted if he did swing into me. Which, I did win the die roll here, and I did choose to go second. Because I do want to be the aggressor, present lethal first. But the one risk of that is if Fi does slam into you, then you might have too many non-blocks to really, not leak more than like 1 or 2 damage. So that was the risk, but he just moves to Arsenal, and I'm like, okay, this is good. We got this. My starting hand like leads with a pulping, and like I said, I know he doesn't sideboard in sinks. They're not in his list. So it felt like a great opener. I mean, I had the blue, whatever. What is even better, though, and I guess this is just Goliath Gauntlet luck, but for whatever reason, Beast Withins are just, like, magnetized to my freaking draw discards. It's amazing. Like, I didn't even have the Beast Within in hand. I drew the Beast Within. Like, I just thought I was going to Pulping into Claw, and, like, that was going to be my turn. 9 damage Arsenal. Like, I'm fine with that. But I draw a Beast Within. Oh, I guess we'll see it. I won't spoil it. Let me catch up on chat for a second. I run a list of CNC and sinks in main. Did you take the tempo? Oh, you're all talking about Fi. I thought you guys were going to talk about the whole Tarek stalling thing, but that's all right. We're talking about Fi. That's cool. Maybe that just bugged me. I don't really know the guy super well, but that was not like a great first interaction. Okay, and then there we go. The discard trigger is a Beast Within, and it banishes another Beast Within. That's actually not that good. Drawing a yellow off the Beast Within isn't really going to unlock much, because likely what I'm trying to do now, since I know I'll have an extra card to reset Arsenal, is just look for the attack now instead of the claw. So a yellow doesn't change anything. If it was a blue, I would have been able to fit in a claw and then my attack, because my attack coming up is a swing big. So drawing the yellow here just means I get to swing the swing big instead of just claw Arsenal. So it is a huge amount of damage gained, like, to be fair. And Tarek, of course, is just not caring. Like, he's not going to block until it's lethal. So he, just takes it. And it looks good. Like, from a Levia player's perspective, I just got out a 14 damage turn 1 with Arsenal. That felt great. And I filled the graveyard with 3 cards. So in theory, I don't have to block either now, and I'll still have my 3 in graveyard to lead off with like a Dread Screamer or whatever it is, right? Yeah, if I had a Graveling in hand, actually, I mean, it wouldn't really do anything because I would need an extra action point to swing the Swing Big and the Graveling. Yeah. Hey, no shade on Tarek though. Like I said, I don't really know him, but like that was just like mildly annoying. And then when we were talking about the game, before he gets into it, he said that he didn't even look at my deck list. He said he's never played the matchup, and that he doesn't really know what he's doing, and that if he has like a question, he'll just ask me to read the card out loud. And so, like, I mean, immediately I felt good about that. Like, that didn't really upset me. I'm like, okay, cool. He doesn't know what he's doing. Like, this is fine. I will probably have a bit of an edge. And it did, seem to be going my way already. Plus, he took Mask of Momentum instead of Mask of Pouncing Lynx. So, oh, Tinder. Calm down, Tinder. There we go. Come on. Yeah, Claw Graveling, but, I mean, that's only 1 more damage than Swing Big, if it's a yellow Graveling. Where is the chat? Show chat. There it went. Okay. Yep. So then Tarek starts his turn, and of course, he's probably going to keep any kind of hand as a 5 player, but it's a very good hand. It is an Art of War, leading with like a blue even, into pushing Mounting Anger up to even 5, and this was kind of the first mistake, right? Now, what you can't see in my hand here that actually makes this in my head a correct decision is I have a That All You Got in my hand. And so my plan is to throw the That All You Got on his Phoenix Flame. And his Phoenix Flame will likely be the 4th attack, right? Because he's going to go mounting into something, into sword, into Phoenix, is my plan on how his turn's going to look. So me blocking mounting like this is just free damage prevention. Like, I'm spending 5 armor to block 6 damage. It felt like a good trade for me, and I know that I'm going to put my That All You Got on the 4th attack for his Phoenix. And it starts to look even better here because he gets another Phoenix out of it. So I'm like, okay, this That All You Got will be very live. Very live. It feels good. So I don't hate this play yet, but as the turn goes on, you'll see why this was actually a massive mistake. Massive, massive mistake. Because when he adds this Phoenix Flame to hand, he doesn't actually play it out. He uses it for an E-Strike draw card and immediately uses Snapdragons on it, right? So this is still relatively fine for the trade pattern of That All You Got like I had planned out, but I won't get just like the guaranteed instant information of, okay, my That All You Got will land, because he's taking the turn a bit differently than I expected. But he throws in with the E-Strike right here. I don't want to block this one with Husk because I do want to spread out the amount in case I have to block again to turn off Mask. Because at this point, I expect his turn to be, he has 2 cards in hand. I expect his turn to still be like Sword Swing, Attack, and Phoenix Flame. So that's another 3 attacks still. So I don't want to block on the E-Strike because he could potentially push Mask again. So I'm still feeling okay about this. The only issue that immediately is presented here is his 4th attack is no longer going to be the Phoenix Flame. His 4th attack is going to be a real attack, And unfortunately for me, the real attack is a Spreading Flames. And this is where the turn goes to absolute shit. This is where the turn absolutely falls apart. The equipment block becomes very incorrect. And I don't lose the game, but on my perspective, I felt like, oh my god, I can't believe I did this on camera. I look like an idiot. Because now, I do need to interrupt this Spreading Flames, and if I use Husk on it, then, let me re-explain that. So the Spreading Flames, right, is threatening the Mask Momentum draw, and this is on a turn where now he has Spreading Flames and he has Art of War. So those are 2 damage multipliers. I really cannot let the Mass Draw go through anymore. Sometimes you can just let it happen because it's like about 3 damage per card, and if you can outvalue that, you can outvalue that, but this is on a multiplier turn, so I really don't want that to happen. So now, if I block this, I have to use Husk to make it a clean block, because otherwise it's 2 cards from my hand, and what I'm trying to protect in my hand is a Blood Rush turn. So now it looks awful, because I spent 5 block, wasting all my breakpoint equipment on Mounting Anger, to then just toss Husk in front of Spreading Flames, and I won't even get my That All You Got draw off this turn, because now with Spreading Flames, the Phoenix Flame will be worth 3. So the turn just falls apart. Like, falls apart. I've never seen a game go from favored to like instant loss so quickly. It was very rough. Very, very rough here. And that's about as fast as the 5 games tend to go. So even at this point, I felt pretty horrible. The correct line here is to not block the Mounting Anger. The correct line is just don't worry about that. The correct line is let it hit. If it gives +1, so be it. Maybe that's going to get blocked anyway with Husk value, whatever. But wasting all my breakpoint equipment on that Mounting Anger with the anticipation of I'm just going to That All You Got his Phoenix Flame on attack number 4 was wrong. That's just wrong. So that's the mistake. Just don't even block Mounting Anger there. Just let it hit. Whatever. It's +1, whatever. Now, I do still have a Blood Rush turn back into him, but now my equipment suite is completely screwed. My equipment suite is just absolutely messed up. I also didn't get to play That All You Got, so I wasted a free graveyard fill. I also have now kept a yellow card that I need to use as pitch because it's not a 6. So a couple unfortunate things could line up for me here, like not drawing a blue, which, not to spoil it, but that's exactly what happens. I don't draw a blue, and my turn falls apart again. So not only did I have a really poor defending turn into Tarek for no reason other than preemptive blocks, my draws don't help me bail it out, because now I draw another yellow. So if I start with the yellow here, I mean, Tarek doesn't know I don't have a blue yet. I'd probably be withholding that information, but what I'm looking for out of a blue, right, is to fix the fact that I have one floating from the Blood Rush pitch yellow. Pitching a blue, that now covers both Mandible Claw swings. Easy peasy. One float plus the 3, and then I'm still going to have an extra card in hand to, even if it's pitch yellow, pay for like a 2-cost attack, and we're fine. That's a 5-card Blood Rush hand. That feels fine. But yes, that all you got only works if Phoenix Flame is 2 power. Is someone saying otherwise? That's the whole point of why that all you got stopped working for me, is because he played Spreading Flames. And so I was no longer able to that all you got and cycle a card. So that was the issue. Before he played the Spreading Flames, which he drew off of the Enlightened Strike, my line was really safe to expect that his Phoenix Flame is going to be +1 from Art of War, but it's still going to be just 2. That all you got will cycle the card. I'll draw a new card into Blood Rush. And the cool thing about how this deck is built is, off the random draw from that all you got, I know it can't be a red non-6. It's just not possible. The deck doesn't have a single red non-6 in it. So at worst, you're trading that all you got for another yellow non-6, which would still make that hand live for a Blood Rush. So I really did want to play it that turn, but whatever. So we go in on my turn, and as you can see already, all the yellow pitch here just translates to really, really poor damage. We're just getting in 5, 5. I mean, all that's cool, right? But we really wanted that blue because... Oh, shoot. We lost the game. We really wanted that blue because... Here we go. Oh my god, Tarek also thought for like 20 freaking minutes on this swing big attack. Because then I have to pitch my next card, right? Which is once again super inefficient, to play out a swing big from Arsenal. And yes, this comes in for 10, but I'm 1 pitch inefficient, and I'm losing my Arsenal here. So this is a really scary spot, playing into a Fi who's refusing to block, because if I don't have the liberty to block with cards in hand and still return a play, then I'm under threat of Mask just blowing me out. And normally, you're not really that scared of Mask if you play with your equipment a bit smarter, but I tried to get ahead of how the equipment blocking worked this game and was just wrong about it. So I'm definitely feeling very scared at this point in the game. He thinks for like 10 minutes on whether or not to block, and then decides to not block. I mean, seriously, it takes a long time. Look at this. Okay, he decides to not block. He goes down to 8 at this point. Wait a second. Oh my god, wait, hold up. No way. I never even noticed this. Did we just miss it? Oh, no, he blocks with a piece of equipment, doesn't he? Yeah, he does. He blocks with an equipment piece, right? Yes, he does. Okay, I was gonna say, if he took that and went to 8, then we just missed 2 damage. But no, he does block with Flame Scale. Okay. Right. But then he has his turn. And his turn is 4 cards back into me. And my hand is awful. My hand is straight 4. Could have baited you the flame to insta-play that all you got, then play the flames. Retroactively buffing the flame to 3, denying you the card. Since the game checks at the end. Could have baited you with a flame to instant play that all you got, and then play Spreading Flames, which due to anger retroactively buffs the flame to 3. Oh, wow. Oh, that's interesting that it works like that. Yeah, because it would always buff the flame, even if it's like Chain Link 1, which it wouldn't be. But there we go. Tarek's turn is, at first, what looks to be pretty minor. He pitches a yellow just for a Spreading Flames. So I don't expect the turn to go that crazy. And then he pitches a blue now for the attack, the Searing Ember Blade. So it is definitely still going wide enough that I do need to worry about the Mask Momentum, right? Now the issue is my hand doesn't have a lot of options. My hand is Wild Ride, Boneyard Marauder. So I'm just kind of stuck anyway in this position that if I could have, I would have blocked with the Boneyard and returned at least a 2-card 7. But I can't. The best I can do is return the Boneyard for 6. Or, I mean, I guess I could. I would just miss out on Arsenal, right? But knowing this matchup, the Arsenal is very, very important. So that is a minor potential mistake, though, with how we see life working out in the very end, is the choice to hold Wild Ride in Arsenal instead of block with Boneyard, pitch double Wild Ride for the Hungering Slaughterbeast. However, this turn in my head works out pretty well in the end because although the attack is really poor, although it's only 6, he says no blocks, which makes no sense, by the way. It makes no sense. He literally just doesn't care about Reckless Swing. He has no respect for Brute, Levia, just doesn't care. He looks at his hand and he says no blocks. So he goes to 2, and I'm hoping and praying that I draw Reckless, just like hoping. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen. So he comes back with his, of course, very good turn. And the issue that I'm having with this hand is that I need to really keep 3 cards. I need to do everything I can to keep 3 cards because I have a Blood Rush again. I have a Blood Rush. And the Blood Rush will seal the game with him on 2 if I can just keep 3 cards. But the issue there was, if I toss a blocking card plus Scab Skins, then I'm just letting his Mask of Momentum absolutely draw and just maybe blow me out of the game anyway. Now, unfortunately, there really isn't a world where I'd be able to not block with, or there isn't really a world where I'd be able to keep the 3 cards unless his hand just drew heavy blues or something, which of course he doesn't. He draws Mounting Anger, Branded Cinderclaw, into Searing Emberblade, into then Phoenix for sure. And yeah, it's a little doomed at this point, little doomed, because I won't get to keep a hand. I'm hoping and praying that somehow all he has in hand is the ability to play Phoenix and Arsenal, but instead he has a Phoenix in hand, which for the most part is a very bad draw, but in this specific position, it's the perfect card to make me have to block. And now all of a sudden, I don't get to play Blood Rush. And worse than not getting to play Blood Rush, my hand sucks without Blood Rush. My hand is like yellow Hungering Slaughterbeast and like another yellow. Okay, so I block with a... Okay, I block with a Rouse. Yeah, so my hand here is just 6 damage. And at this point, this demands nothing. I mean, he can just block with his full equipment and go to 1. It demands nothing. So the game is like absolutely over again unless I draw Reckless Swing. Very unfortunate. Is Lynx the correct play? I've been running Lynx in this match because he blocks well, Master Momentum steals momentum out of your hand. I mean, Mask of Momentum is something that normally you naturally interrupt as Levia. You don't really keep full hands. Like even on a Blood Rush, you want to block with 3 cards. Or you only want a 3-card hand to really pop off. If you get more, sure. So Lynx is just the way for Tarek to say, I make you block with more than 1 card this turn. I make you present, or I make you have to interrupt the play pattern you want. Because if you only use Mask as a Fi, that doesn't necessarily make Levia block with 2 cards per turn. But if you run Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, then on a singular turn in the game, you can force the Levia to block down in a way she didn't want to. So Lynx is a bit better, I would say. Because like even in that spot, right, if he has the Pouncing Lynx there, I just lose. I just lose if he uses Lynx. Because I need to turn off Blood Debt. So if he forces the cards out, then I just die. So yeah, it's... and from what I've played, the Lynx is significantly scary compared to what Mask of Momentum does. Like, Mask of Momentum is not going to draw him a card this game, and it actually hasn't... The only time it forced a weird block was Husk, but that was my fault. That was nothing to do with Tarek, honestly. That was just my fault with getting really preemptive on the Mounting Anger. Just trying to get value out of blocking 5 to prevent 6, which was not relevant. So, yeah, so we look back at my turn, and my turn is still just miserable because it is just 6 damage. He doesn't have to block with a single card. And he goes to 1. And once again, I just have to hope and pray I draw Reckless or I lose. And nope. I just don't draw it. And there we go. Game's over. So on our end, we saw one real misplay. Which was like a value misplay. And it wasn't even a misplay knowing board state. It was a misplay because he ended up drawing Spreading Flames off of E-Strike. That's how it went to shit. Otherwise, the That All You Got line was correct. Like, that's what I was waiting for. But because he drew Spreading Flames off of E-Strike, it stopped working. It stopped working. So that was just a bit of bad luck on my end. I made a call that was just not right. I guess. I mean, I don't really know how often you're supposed to expect that he draws Spreading Flames off of E-Strike. But because he did, it stopped being the right line. And that was huge. That was huge. And then I bricked drawing all blues on the Blood Rush, so I wasn't able to reset Arsenal. And then I bricked into an all red hand. And then I bricked into a hand that only presented 6, which forced no cards out of him. So, I don't know. What can you really do about that game? That's like three legitimate bricks versus an opponent who just does not care about Reckless, even though he could have played around Reckless. I mean, he literally had choices here. He didn't have to go to 2. He didn't have to go to 2. Look at all the equipment still sitting here. Look at that. I mean, he just doesn't have to go to 2. It was very annoying. Like, honestly, it was very annoying. Because, like, do you really want to take a loss on stream in front of thousands of people just because you have zero respect for Levia? But that's the line Tarek played for, and I just didn't get lucky. I just didn't draw Reckless. So it was very frustrating, like, not gonna lie. That game was just rough. It was just rough. So, yeah. If it wasn't a misplay with no information, it wasn't a misplay. Well, no, but still, the reason I would legitimately count it as a misplay is because I just didn't have to block 5 on Mounting Anger. I did it for the value. I did it because I'm using 5 equipment to block 6. Right? Because I'm denying the Mounting Anger buff. But I'm not under threat of losing, losing Husk or anything. So I can let it hit. And if he gets the +1 out of it, whatever. I'll save my blocks for when they actually, interrupt something more additional. Like the Mask of Momentum draw. Like protecting me from having to block with a card in hand. So that's why I would consider a misplay regardless, is it was just a value block instead of a legitimately correct block, even though with the That All You Got in hand, I thought it would work out, but there was still no reason to make it happen this way. So that I would still call it a misplay, legitimately. When he went to 2, why not block out and try to draw into the Reckless instead of trying to push through armor? Because I need to turn off Blood Debt or I die. Levia has this mechanic that's really fun. It's very interactive. I don't know if you've ever seen a hero deal like 40 damage to themselves, but Levia can do it. And if you don't turn off Blood Debt, then yes, you just lose. So I can't just block out for Reckless. It's not possible. Very, very annoying, honestly. Yeah, so, oh well, it was a loss. It's a loss, and it's like kind of an embarrassing one, because I really don't, like, Tarek literally blocked with 0 cards. He blocked with 0 cards. He disrespects Reckless. And he just draws Art of War and Double Spreading and Flame Call and, like, everything that you should as a Fi. I mean, it's what Fi does. It's the good cards. So, oh well. It is what it is. But what's really upsetting about what that does to the bracket is the bracket could have been so freaking interesting if this is what it looked like, right? If it was me versus DM Armada, that's 2 content creators in the top 4. Would have been insane. Would have been so cool. On the other side of the bracket here with Majin and... Oh, I actually know who wins both of these. I can't say that yet. I think you all don't know yet. But I know who the other bracket of the top 4 is, and... Okay, here's the other thing. DM Armada's on Dromai, right? DM Armada's on Dromai. That is a free win for Levia. Free win. Props to DM. He's playing amazing. But that matchup, especially with this version of the build, very, very favored for Levia. So that basically would have been, if I win this game, I'm finals. Like, 80% chance I'm finals, I'll say. But couldn't do it. Couldn't bring it home. And now instead we get this boring-ass game where DM Armada is going to play against Fi, and Tarek's going to not block, and he's going to just kill dragons, and he's going to just win. Like, it's just going to be a boring top 4. But whatever. The universe didn't want me to get there, so it is what it is. It is what it is. But okay. That's the review of that game. Hope you enjoyed, even though it was like a 4-turn game. The game just is what it is. Is what it is. Now, the other thing, you've done it like twice and it was off the Fi misplaying. Yeah, I mean, Dromai, the crazy thing is, if you start looking at Dromai in like draft and sealed, Dromai can actually beat Fi. When the Fi deck isn't incredibly optimized, and with Dromai, even with like 1 or 2 good dragons just sticking, like you can just win that match. Like I beat all the Fis in the team sealed, just basically by blocking out, sticking in Necria, and then when they pivot on Necria, just make sure that your arsenal is a strong red return, and then into a couple 0-for-4s. And it's pretty doable, but that does not scale to CC at all, unfortunately. As much as I love Levi, this is why I do not play her at big events. She requires perfect play and often mistake on your opponent's part to win. Opponents can know nothing about her and her deck. Yes, that is the unfortunate truth. Is he literally okay? So like he said, like Tarek said before we started playing, he's like, hey, if I need to know anything, like I'm just gonna ask you to read the card, okay? And then he didn't ask me to read a single card. Because at the end of the day, it was just damage, and he doesn't care. Which is the correct choice. I have a friend who runs hyper aggro version of Pro. You probably mean Dromai. And his 5 matchup is still like 50-50. Yeah, so actually, we're going to get the second place battle-hardened Dromai player onto the channel for Deck Tech on Friday. And he is on a very, very aggro. Actually, I wonder if the list is out. He's on a very aggro Dromai. Events deck lists, and it'll be very interesting to look at because it is different. Oh, here it is. It's already out. No, Clark. Yeah. So like, look at. Wait, actually, this isn't aggro. I was lied to. It has E-strikes. That's like the only aggro card different that I see. I thought he was on like red spears and like red dune breakers. I don't see any of that. Okay, still an interesting list though. Still very cool. Very, very cool. Pursuit of Knowledge. That's coming up a bit in Dromai lists. Okay, so it's not full aggro Dromai. I take it back. I take it back. But he's going to be doing a deck check on the channel here on Friday. Are the odds KO wins the Blitz portion greater than 33% or less? I think there will be a subset of people at Worlds who, in an act of protest against Blitz, just bring KO. And I expect maybe one of them does okay. That's it, though. It will not be greater than 33%. Maybe one person. E-Strike is absolutely amazing. You should be running it. Yeah. I don't know. I just hadn't seen many other Dromais do it. Anthony, cool. I'll see you at Worlds. Coolio, coolio. So what else is there to talk about this weekend? Oh, I guess there's a cool thing. Some cool things to show off. Check this out. Wait, oops. Hold on. It's the wrong thing. There we go. Now you can see the main in all its glory. All right, check this out. So I have now in my possession a proper mirrorless camera, a proper Sony a6000. This is going to be the new overhead cam for streams. You'll have that beautiful mirrorless quality. Now, I didn't splurge for like the newer models because when you stream, you can only really stream at 1080 anyway, and this one doesn't even do 4K, but it's still fantastic. So you'll see that. And then check these out. Look at these beautiful, beautiful tokens. All right, to give you a sense of scale, right? This is like, that's my finger next to it. So here's some fab tokens I'll be using. They're upgraded. You've got the 1, the 2. You've got, you've got attack tokens. Attack tokens. Look how big they are. 1, and then reversed on the back is their value plus 10. 1, 11. We've got armor tokens. Same deal. 1, 2. So all that will be part of the stream that I bring coming up for the SEG-Con event in like Pittsburgh or whatever it is. Also might be streaming some stuff from World. The weird part about streaming Worlds is that I'm staying in a test house, and this test house is full of some very good players. And a lot of the players, you know, they don't want to stream their testing. I get it. I mean, I'll play Levi games all day. I don't care. But will anyone else actually want to play on stream? Probably not. And I don't have extra decks with me anymore to, just say, hey, don't play your dash, play this dash, and just to make content. I don't think anyone's going to do that anymore. World is going to be pretty sweaty for everyone other than me and the people who got in on Legacy XP. Are they 3D printed? Yes, they are 3D printed you can find in the description. There's a website called like Fab Tokens. Look at that. They're beautiful. And they are made by a friend of mine back in Michigan named Dominic. These ones were special ordered to be streamer friendly. But they're awesome. I mean, they're so legible. Freaking massive. So yeah, you can message him through there or buy the ones that he does just immediately offer. Do you ever do deck reviews for non-Levia decks? I mean, I don't deck reviews like just looking at a deck and commenting on it. I mean, I play a bunch of stuff on stream. We did like Rock Reinhardt and Dromai, did Dorinthia, did Lexi. I do some other deck techs on here from friends of mine. Like we've got the Iyslander from top 4 at Nats. We've got the Dromai second place Battle Hardened coming out. So, I mean, you can drop your list. I'll look at it. Not like I'm an expert at anything other than Levia, but I'll look at it. But yeah, so pretty exciting. The other part of this whole thing is like this right here. This brick is my new portable PC. I mean, it's supposedly portable. It's massive. But that is going to go on the road with me now to events, along with this camera right here that's picking up, it's just a fancy webcam. I've got these ones now to do the face cams and hand cams, and their quality is pretty badass. I mean, for a webcam, this thing's insane. Like, look at my hair. This is a webcam. Look how it picks up. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think the stream's going to be pretty sick. I just need to figure out how to move it around, and not lose it to just people who are incapable of getting my luggage through the plane. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do to help that. I did get a tile, like one of those things that tracks where your stuff is. So I'm going to put that in my check bag this time. So nothing can go wrong, right? I hope. All right, there we go. Cool. So, yep, that's what's coming up on the horizon. Like I said, this is going to be my last stream just because tomorrow I need to start packing and getting everything together, and to stream for 3 hours is just not going to be super feasible. I still need to build decks. I still need to, get all the streaming stuff in its portable state. Bit of a mess right now. I just got back from Ohio as well, and I'm going from Denver Battle Hardened. So if you'll be there, I'll see you. That's happening pretty damn soon. To San Jose, to Pittsburgh. That's a lot of travel coming up, which is why the I need to eat goal is on the stream, because I do need to eat. It's a lot of being on the road. A lot of being on the road, away from a kitchen, away from making cheap meals. Speaking of, got a wonderful wrap right here. All right, Abton, if you want to drop a link, I do have to make you a moderator for a second. But now you should be good. You can drop a link to the Lexi brew. But after that, it's probably just a couple games. And that'll be it. I'm like almost fabbed out, not gonna lie. This weekend was a lot of flesh and blood. A lot of very high stress flesh and blood. Alright, we've got a Talishar Lexi. Oh. Talishar is in the weapon, not Talishar is in the emulator. Okay. That's an interesting take already. E-Strike, Entwine, Flat, Flash Freeze. Attacks you control this turn. Okay, hold up a second. Attacks you control this turn. That does count Talishar. It doesn't say attack action card. That's interesting. That's interesting. I never even knew that interaction. Wait, is this an attack you control? It is, right? It doesn't say attack action card. So this is an attack you control once it's on the combat chain. Okay, well, very cool. Very cool. That's interesting. Ice Quakes, sure, that's just a good curve with Talishar, of course. Good curve off Icy Frostfang. Yeah, I love that. Red Ice Quake. I have a new hate for this card. I've seen so many Ice Quakes next to CNC after playing these aggro old hymns. It makes me hurt. It makes me hurt. Lightning Press, alright. This one can't hit Frostfang or Icy, but sure, there's some other targets. Shock Striker, that's a target. Snatch. Interesting. Okay, well, you just seem like a worse aggro deck than anything else out there, but if the hit effects are enough to maybe make you beat aggro, then sure, there's an actual reason to play this deck. But I feel like aggro decks right now are accustomed to even dealing with like an old hymns amount of hit effects, so I'm not sure it'd be enough. You know, like if you smack them with a Frostfang Icy, or like a Frostfang with Icequake or something, they'll just probably discard a red and move on. And your rate is actually like -2 from like a normal value play. That's a 3-card hand. You're coming in for 8 for 3 cards, but you're minus a card. Compared to, well, no, I guess you can't really compare it straight to like Tunic plus Pummel plus other card, because that's plus Tunic resource, but that'd be 3 cards for like around 10 plus a discard effect. Maybe that's an okay rate. It's hard to factor. Interesting. Well, I hope you get some wins with it. I'm a little impressed with this Flash Freeze interaction. I never saw that. And that's finally a reason to play Mark Poole's beautiful art, isn't it? You get the go against Frostbites for free. Oh, that's true. Okay, yep. Actually, that's another part of the turn cycle as well. Huh. Alright, fine. We'll try it. This game's probably not real. There we go. We'll try it. Why not? It's a dash. Alright, if it's an aggro dash, we're probably working with gas here. If it's a control dash, we probably just instant lose. Ooh, hypothermia's... I mean, do you really get to play them out versus a dash? They're definitely good. It's probably worth putting in. And then we'll have to take out one playset of something. Well, those were all blues. Maybe we can cut... I mean, this blocks 3 at least. Amulets aren't needed. Okay, there it goes. That's easy. And we are an aggro deck, so second's probably better, but we do get a huge benefit from an arsenal here, don't we? We'll try first. Could you try my Briar list, or is it against your religion? No, I don't play Runeblade. Sorry. Runeblade is a sin. Plus, I do want to play some Levia games, but this is interesting. Oh, wow, it is aggro. Okay, it's going to be an aggro dash with Hanabi Blaster. Maybe we can actually win this. I feel like at this point, I just want to clear out the Heaven's Claws and maybe cheat some damage with the Lightning Press. Could be okay. Cycle with Shock Charmers. Well, I mean, we can cheat some damage with Lightning Press. Might as well. We'll still Arsenal and Electrify. Sure. Got him. Okay. Oh, we've got that classic aggro hand of E-Strike into Snatch, if that's even what we want to do. Alright, they're starting strong with a Goliath Gauntlet. Coming in with Combustible Courier. Oh boy. Well, these are some of those must-block situations, aren't they? Well, that's pretty unfortunate, actually. So we'll just try to return We'll try to just return Snatch for 4. It's our best 1-card hand. Yep. Zero to 60, just 3 damage. We pushed more than 3 damage. Don't even hate taking this. And now it's just a blue 0 to 60. This is great. These are the kind of trades we are okay with. Okay. Now we'll Snatch, and if it's not a card we want, we can just, you know, get it away with Shock Charmers anyway. But 0 for 4, nothing wrong with that. It's a good rate. They took it. It's a Flash Freeze. We can't get rid of that with Shock Charmers. So let's hope it's playable next turn. We do have Tunic coming up for Electrify. How simple is it that you exclusively play Runeblade and Levia? Well, you play Levia at least. So that's some good karma. But then you play Runeblade. And Runeblade is like awful, horrible, negative energy. Chakras are all messed up, dude, or whatever you... Whatever. Hold on a second. 8 for Throttle. Well, there's no hit effect on that. This actually is going to be live. But it's an all-red hand, so we're going to hope that we draw resources off of Electrify. But screw it. I'll take it. I'll take this damage. Let's go. It depends which Runeblade you play, I guess. If you play Viserai, you're done for. I don't think we can accept you in the league anymore. If you played Chain... Oh, okay. I mean, sure, you had your Dark Phase, but at least you had to think a little bit to pull off your wins. If you play Briar, then, I mean, you definitely are a Levia player then, aren't you? That's just another deck that has highs and lows, but is not as volatile as Levia. That's saved for the brutes. Wow, we are eating a lot of damage. I mean, this is awful. This is very scary. Oh, we're down to 18. Oh, and they can shoot with Hanabi. Oh, heck yeah. All right, let's do it. Down to 13. I'm okay with this. We're just gonna draw a blue, right? And it'll all be fine. Come on. And we drew a red. Okay. Well, game is starting to fall apart. Definitely falling apart. But we can at least swing with the Entwined Lightning into the Heaven's Claws. That's not so bad. Oh, this cost 1? Oh no, Flash Freeze cost 1. Oh my god, I thought it was free. I was thinking on the reveal. Oh boy. Okay, well, it's not going to be Icy Encounter this turn. It'll just be these. Okay, and then we come in with the... I mean, Heaven's Claws will have go again. I guess we come in with Entwined Lightning. Doesn't really matter which one first. Sure, this has go again regardless, right? Or does Flash Freeze care about me fusing the card? Attacks you control gain... No, okay. Yeah, blue card would have been sick. Blue card would have been Heaven's Claw into... Oh, well, no. Not necessarily. Might have had to snaps it to really get the 3 attacks off, but it's okay. We do have one more attack coming, that's real. This has Dominate. Oh, wow, it has Dominate. Didn't even see that. Ah. What one blue would have done to our turn. Oh, well. Yeah, because now all they're really dealing with is a discard effect, right? Or what is this even doing? It deals an extra 3. Oh, so not even a discard effect. Oh, so they were always going to take that turn no matter what. We couldn't have presented lethal on that. Unfortunate. Alright, we've got a 2-card hand for 8. It's not awful. That's what we're probably going to play for. Oh, are you a Viserai player, Eric? That's disgusting. That's unforgivable. Sorry. Unforgivable. Well, I do want a 2-card hand 8, but we still just lose this game. There's really not much coming back. Alright, just in case they play like an item and pass, we do want to at least block the health. And it's an overloop, okay, all reds. Looks good. Looks great. Looking good so far. Loving it. Now they didn't get a charge on Hanabi Blaster. This is relevant. Let's get him. This actually should have gone into Arsenal, I believe, but it's fine. It's actually kind of the same, because if I reveal it then... Oh, actually, that's a big deal, because I don't have to play it out instantly, because this isn't an arrow deck. So Lightning Surge in Arsenal means I can play something from hand, and then that also has Go Again. So actually, yeah, that in Arsenal is much more relevant. Okay, so they're drawing all their reds. Here come the reds. This is a non-block, and we're behind. That seems really good. Seems almost ideal. Well, we really can't do much. It's gone. Yeah, the Lightning Press is questionable. I think it's a very hopeful card if you're just ahead forever, but not sure how you're going to be ahead forever with this kind of deck. Not going to lie. Deck low. And it's another red. Wow, they are really hitting it. This is good for them. Good for them, Dash. I think they've, other than that 0 to 60 turn, everything they've played is a red. Cool. Alright. I think we can pivot, right? It must be coming soon. The pivot, the legendary pivot. Yeah. It's going to be Channel, Winter's Grasp, Tunic, Talishar. That's the pivot. Right? Alright, so if they just forgot to boost here, I think we're good. But it looks like they did click boost. Alright, well, we do survive, funny enough. We do survive. Except this doesn't really do anything, does it? All we can do is swing Talishar. Cool. Oy. Oh, okay, actually, here's some other synergy. If it's a lightning card, your next attack this turn gains Go Again. That actually counts Talishar again. Interesting. Interesting how all the ranger stuff just says attacks, right? Because they assume it's just arrows. Like how Pulse affected Winter's Wail when Starvo played it. And we drew another non-block, just by the way. Okay, here goes this. Here goes this. Oh no, they did it. They did it. Okay, GG's opponent. Well, I think that's why no one plays Attack Lexi, not gonna lie. I think that was probably why, right there. If you can't beat other aggro, then why play the deck? But that was cool. A lot of interactions there that are pretty non-standard, which is interesting. That is interesting. Competitive CC, sure. Okay. One of the things that I'm still torn about in this list as well is whether or not to run a different chess piece for Iyslander. Because right now, Iyslander is mostly attack Iyslander. Mostly attack Iyslander, but at the event in Columbus, there were definitely attack Icelanders. Definitely. Or not attack, arcane Icelanders. There were. Okay, we're taking out those, we're taking out this. Okay. Alright, let's see how aggro the Guardian can draw against us. Hopefully just pretty mid. Mid we can handle. Mid is fine. Start. I also am trying Skull Crushers again instead of Iron Rot, because the game I lost against Briar was actually due to Iron Rot. In Columbus, it was probably a lost game anyway, but I legitimately lost because I had 3 non-blocks in Graveyard that I just couldn't control. Because I had to take a really early turn of block with Crown, block with Iron Rot. And against hit effect decks like Briar, that makes sense. Like, you're going to have to sack your equipment kind of when you don't want to. It's when they force it. And so putting 2 non-blocks in the graveyard at the same time is just rough. So that came up big, because then I had 3 misses and I did just whiff and lose. So I'm trying Skull Crushers instead. I liked the graveyard fill most of the time in every other instance. But... Oh, hey. And they pull a Stamp Authority. Oh, that's wonderful. So there is a draw 5. Great. Love to see it. You love to see it. Actually on... Wait, sorry. Got something. When you... no, I'm not going to undo it. Honestly, this doesn't have Go Again, right? So, or does it not matter because he has Imposing Visage, which has Go Again? Because there is the option there to actually just Art of War to cycle a bit. But it's fine. We'll give that up. Okay, and yep, as we expected, nothing was super playable. This isn't so bad. It's pretty bad, but it's not so bad. We're just going to Arsenal the Boneyard and try to play for a Blood Rush next turn. But he's got a 6-card hand, so... Okay, he blocks with Sync, that's fine. Oh yeah, we actually should have done that on his turn 0. Because I don't think he would swing a Nothos. He might there, just because it pushes 6. Okay. Well, this is terrifying, because there comes a Dominated Crippling already. Nice, love it. You love to see it. Now, it's not threatening Pummel. Honestly, if we can protect this with Dread Screamer 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that does turn it off right now and lets us come back. And then we even keep Carrion Husk for the next one. I think that's honestly fine. If this hits, there's just almost no play other than swing Mandible Claw. So, screw it, we'll do it. And we're not going to sync. All we need to do is draw blue, and this turn is really good for us. And we do draw blue, and we can even Arsenal Rouse, which is not awful. Not awful. And we have a bunch of misses right now, but we have no Blood Debt. So it's also okay. Yeah, Bravo's an okay deck. Supposedly it does beat Oldhim, if you play it perfectly. So there's also that going for it. But, against everything else, Oldhim's probably still better because Oldhim right now is super aggro, and the super aggro variant is still fine in Defy. Bravo's also good in Defy, but like Oldhim is better across more matchups than just that. Bravo's more of a, you know, if you really love the deck, you're going to play the deck. Tends to be, oh, we're going to take a Blood Debt even. Tends to be the people who stick with it, or the ones who really love it. As far as metagame goes, you don't really see people pivoting to Bravo. Okay, so of course, unluckily for us, our aggro turn lined up perfectly with his defensive turn. So, and we didn't even draw a third attack to play Rouse. Wonderful. But he chooses to swing Hammer. That's totally fine. We will take Hammer. Okay, so lead with this. Okay, we've got a Graveling into swing big turn. That's totally fine. Totally fine. Graveyard at 2 misses. Rouse in Arsenal is potentially starting to become weak because you don't always get to turn off Blood Debt if you're going for the Rouse turn. Most of the time you do, but not every time. So at 2 Blood Debt, we're actually pretty okay with where it is right now, but we definitely want to play it out, like, starting as soon as even next turn. Okay, so it looks like the Bravo is on a lot of defense, right? Even Red Staunch. So I probably should have blocked with an Iron Rot, like, why not? Ooh, okay. This is great. This is the kind of thing you want. We're going to show this. We're going to show this. 7 go again. Not bad. And then we are going to just play at the Mark of the Beast. It's pretty underwhelming, but we're not going to play out Swing Big, Arsenal Mark. That spreads it a bit worse. We might as well turn off the Blood Debt, save HP. Swing Big will be fine next to maybe our next Art of War. I mean, we've already played 2, though. Could be fine next to a Dread Screamer as well. And we also still have Husk, so we don't have to be super afraid of needing a Blood Debt card in Arsenal. One choice would be, well, I don't know, maybe we do play at the Swing Big, actually, because it's only 2 Blood Debt right now, and we are already potentially in the position where, because we played 2 Art of Wars out already, the Swing Big isn't naturally playable. So I think it will be worth it. We'll play the Swing Big out. Keep the Mark the Beast in Arsenal. It's only 2 Blood Debt. Only 2. Let's say Briar hits the Living Legend threshold on Worlds Weekend, so we know they would typically move her to LL. They should have announced already when they are announcing the next ban list / LL announcement. I don't know when they said. No idea. Okay, nice. This is actually a great draw here. We have exactly 3 misses, so it could go to shit, as it always could with Levia. Looks like it didn't. Instead, we even hit a miss, which is nice. And then we'll get to play the Shadow Blasphemfet into Banish Howl on a turn where we already turned off Blood Debt. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Okay, we discarded a Dread Screamer. That's a bit rough. Dread Screamer is a super valuable card, but we at least got the Howl out, right? We're just now going to need to get on Graveyard Clear Duty, which is already a little rough because we just discarded a Dread Screamer. One of the best ways to get ahead on Graveyard Duty is double banish with a Dread Screamer turn, or with Soul Harvest, which we just pitched. So, a little scared. But they blocked with a Disable here. Okay, this Rouse is not playable. Actually, this turn is just not very good at all, is it? So the best we can do is really play out Howl. Sure, we can play out Howl, just play Hungering, get ahead on some of the Banish. We left 3 misses though. That's rough. Choosing to keep the Rouse, it's a blue and there's a chance it's live next hand, because we haven't seen any red Hungering Slaughter Beast yet, and those are a pretty good way to do it. You just see Rouse, blue, Hungering, yellow is a great hand for it. Why do you want to play Briar at the Battlehorn anyway? Come on, Dynasty will be out. Just play some of the new stuff, you know? People are talking. Azalea's gonna be busted. No, that quote's actually dated. They're not legal when the next Living Legend announcement is. Oh, we were close. We missed the blue. We did miss the blue. Interesting. So we actually have the choice here. We could play out the Mark the Beast with just pitching Swing Big Graveling, and then Arsenal Rouse and try to force our Hungering Slaughter Beast hand to function with it next turn. That could be one way to do it. But I also want to keep banishing graveyard stuff, because we want to clean it up. I think we'll just try again. Okay, we did hit 2 of the misses. Nice. Didn't hit Howl, though. But we hit 2 of the misses. Rouse is pretty good. It's that extra bit of go again that actually has synergy just by being part of the blue base. I quite like it. I'm running it at 2 right now. Because I also... The other thing I did miss by having Rouse, though, was Convulsions. Because that spot for me, I always put as Convulsions of the Bellows of Hell. Because that card can just steal games. And it's a blue pitch that turns off Blood Debt as you go on. Oh, yikes. Well, this is a Levia hand. Okay, so we can actually... if we want to get super greedy about it, we could even block here, Reckless. Just go ahead, deal 2. Discard Beast Within, it refills. Or we can just block with both Beast Withins. Play out the mark, Arsenal, Rouse. I think that's fine. We still haven't seen the other 2 Hungering Slaughter Beasts, so it's likely that a Rouse hand draws up for us. And this is our second Rouse, so we only need to worry about this next one. To be fair, though, we did just pitch a Swing Big. So we could pitch the Rouse now and it'd be live in second cycle. Just kind of depends how much we think we're going to reach that against a Bravo and how much we want Reckless Swing in Arsenal right now. And the answer to that is pretty much 0. We don't want the Reckless Swing in Arsenal right now, so we'll just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. The unfortunate part here is we've had 2 pretty dud hands so far, and we haven't found the full Recursion suite to really turn them into damage. And we missed banishing the Howl twice now. So there's definitely a stabilizing turn for Bravo coming up pretty soon. And it's probably this one. It's probably this one. Oh, nice. And we drew all reds. Okay. Yep. So, Levia, she's just having her issues. Just having her issues, it looks like. Ay, ay, ay. Why you do this to me, girl? Why, oh why, Levia? Alright, so they kept a 5-card hand, so it's most likely something to do with Pummel. I really hope it's not an... Okay, it's a... Oh, it's a Righteous Cleansing. I actually don't hate that. And it can't be a Pummeled Righteous Cleansing, so I don't hate that either. We can just take 7 here if they banish. Honestly, it's whatever. We're just going to end up playing the Hungering Slaughter Beast. Yeah, so actually really not a bad turn for us. We'll let it hit. We haven't seen all the Blood Rushes yet, so that can definitely get banished here. That would suck. It can't be all 3. We did play 1. A Bravo played Righteous against me the other day and hit 4 Wrecker Rumps. All 3 blues and a yellow. Crazy. Which I was actually happy with. If they banished that, cool. Those were dead cards anyway. In sequence. Alright, so actually us drawing all reds really worked out because there was nothing else we could do around this Righteous anyway. And Righteous is really not a hit effect we super care about. So us returning Hungering Slaughter Beast here is totally fine. Of course, we wish one was a yellow in that case and be Endless Maw for 9, but can't complain too much. Can't complain too much. And Endless Maw was banished, so I believe that puts us at only... Okay, actually, we still have 2 in deck then, because we're pitching this. Thought that meant we knew where all 3 were, but no. Cool. I got hit with it once as chain, and it was just 1 Ghostly, 1 Shadow, 2 Blue Demagon, and a Howl. Oh my god. Yeah, so I think at that point you just pass. You say, no resolution here. Banish... Oh, no, actually, you must. Look at that. Banish 1 or more. I guess you can't choose 0. Interesting. Interesting. You can't choose 0. Okay, the one thing we need to be scared about in this game, the last thing we need to be scared about in this game is his crippling, his last crippling. And I guess technically Terror Sunders. Terror Sunders are also terrifying, and what do you know, there's a Terror Sunder. The most ridiculous card in the game when it comes to card efficiency with Guardian. Nice. Now, we can take it, lose Beast Within. That lined up nicely at least. But then if the Beast Within hits even 2 banishes, we lose Husk, right? I definitely don't want to Husk Scabs to cover it up. This hand is not worth it. I mean, well, is it? Okay, so if we Husk plus Scabskins, our hand is Rouse into Mark the Beast, Arsenal, Graveling. It's actually not that bad, but to lose the Beast Within value on a discard hit is a little rough. The issue just being, though, the damage we take from this is too risky on the Beast Within discard. So it's a bit forced. We have to do it. God, I hate Terror Sunder. Card is dumb. Card is dumb. Yeah, because there's some sequences there where you don't mind the banish 2 on Beast Within. Like, it could banish a Howl and then give you a card. But the issue would be Husk would be gone, because we'd be taking it, and then... Well, I guess we could have blocked with 1, in theory. Could have blocked with 1 card. That was probably better then. Block with 1 card, let the Terror Sunder hit on the other 2. Yeah, that was probably better. That's probably better. Terror Sunder or Revel? No, Revel's worse. Terror Sunder's pretty close. In terms of, like, yeah, most tilt-worthy cards. Alright, this is actually very scary. Once again, keeping their hand, we are in a spot where our arsenal will not turn off Blood Debt. So we need to cycle that out. Because if it's a crippling right here, there's just literally nothing we can do. Which is really fun. You know, if that's just the game. Really fun. Really, really fun. Oy, oy, oy. You thought I was taking Blood Debt? Hell no, Mark of the Beast. Come on, buddy. Mark of the Beast. I'm not going to be that dumb about it. Alright, so it is a CNC Pummel by the looks of it. CNC Pummel. Yep, well, we're not gonna fall victim to that. You can go ahead, Pummel. Yep, it's a red Pummel. Sure. You can go ahead, what's our graveyard? We're at 1-2 misses. So, unfortunately, our return will just be Hungering Slaughterbeast, Arsenal, Blood Rush, I guess. Or we force the Blood Rush. We could force the Blood Rush. I think because he's at 13, we might have to do it. Yikes. I don't love it, but if all we do is throw 6 and Arsenal Blood Rush, we're in that same spot of we could maybe just not get to Arsenal what we want. Also, we haven't seen other Boneyard Marauders yet. We've only seen, I think, 2. We played 1 and we pitched 1 on a Shadow Blazafet. So we could get lucky and draw the Boneyard Marauder. So screw it. We're going to go for it. Okay, that is it. GG. Alright. Cool. Levia moment. Levia moment. I mean, it's a lose-lose, unfortunately. If all we do is throw 6 and Arsenal Blood Rush, we're stuck in the same position where another discard is just game over. Or we could try to risk it on the swing and end up with like exactly this hand, which just loses us the game. So that's nice. That's nice. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Good stuff, game. Good stuff. Uh-huh. We are 1 card off from an attack. I mean, that was still the greedy line, though. Oh well. Here comes a Nothos for 6. And all we can do is Endless Maw for 9, which granted is a good return. Wonderful. Gotta go for D&D. Alright, have fun, man. Make sure I win? No, not possible. We can't plan on that. The unfortunate part is our arsenal is absolute garbage to actually get ourselves back into the game with like a good rate hand. I mean, it's just not good. It's just not a good rate card to actually play. Well, this gives us a window back in if all he does is... Oh, wow. Alright, that's legitimately giving us a window back into the game. Don't hate it. We are at 4 misses right now, though. How greedy do we want to be? I mean, the most damage we can throw is just 10. Yeah, most damage we can do is 10, but then that doesn't cycle out the Howl. Can we even really win? This might just be like scab skins or bust. Alright, screw it. Nope, rolled a 3. Okay, it's bust. It's bust. Alright, we'll do the most damage we can. Okay. They're going for a true 5-card play. Nice. We're going to have still 2 misses in the yard because that Dread Screamer is going to go to graveyard. Actually, should have just closed the chain first. Yeah, but there's no way we don't just instant lose here. Cool. Cool. Here it comes. Yeah, you know, taking 10 to yourself, or what was it, 11? Yeah, you don't win those games, unfortunately. Unfortunate. The crazy part is that if this was a good card, we actually could stay in the game. So... Oh no, we couldn't. It has Dominate. What am I saying? Yeah. Okay, that's it. Cool. Well, honestly, if I was paying more attention, we should have Art of Ward on turn 0. And then maybe the game would have had some better flow. Because it sucked. All we did was throw a Claw on turn 1. What is the point of this, Clark? What's the point? How are you feeling for Worlds? I'm not going to answer that. Good. Good. It will be fun. Alright, I want to rematch this though. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna play Levia. I'm not in the position to actually try for Worlds at all. Like, I'm really just not. I have no testing team. I have no real reps on anything other than Levia or Fi. I hate Fi. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna text you later though, Clark. Okay. Okay, peace. So why actually try at Worlds and be very disappointed when I could just play what I want at Worlds and have fun no matter what? Oh, looks like a DC lobby. All right. How do you feel about Worlds? Terranothos Pummel. Yeah. Alright. Alright. Well, we are keeping the aggro package in. Kind of interested in going second. But it's a Briar. So they can get a lot of value going first. Screw it. We'll go first. You're in upstate New York? Yes, I'm in upstate New York. I get to play one armory every 2 weeks sometimes, but it's always Blitz. And that's pretty much my life. Okay, and we even discarded the Reckless Swing to get us started here. Good stuff all around. Can't even cheese damage. Okay, we did draw right into a Blood Rush turn though. Could always find a testing group. There's decent players in New York. I mean, the issue with a testing group is my free time goes to streaming, Ethan, is what it is. Like, it's either sweat at Fab and have zero fun, or just play what I want and continue with content creation, continue with streaming, continue with more over-the-top travel just because it means I can bring content to events like the SCG cons. And I'd rather that route. Like, I'd absolutely rather that route than sell my soul and just slave away at whatever the best deck is. That's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage coming at me, but we're gonna eat it. It's not a CMH, right? Not a CMH. Holy mother. It's a lot of damage. At least that wasn't a blue for even the little ping with grasp. But yeah, that's still very scary. Whatever. You think your turn was a lot? Wait till you see this. I'm gonna brick into all reds. Nope. We're living. I've streamed local testing before, but I can't move. You have to come to me. Alright, well, my turn was only 20. Their turn was 18. Okay, this is better. Alright, it's actually better. Into another very live hand. It's really not so bad, actually. Gorg Snatch with snaps up. It's probably worth the armor? Question mark. I mean, that's the greedy way to do it, but I think we still will. In terms of bottoming anything, well, we don't have Blood Debt yet, so I actually don't need the Dread Screamer in hand. Like, we have the go-agains anyway, so I think we're gonna maybe even find like another blue. Could be nice. It's an Art of War. Okay. It's also fine. Into Crack Aether Ironweave, sure. Into Entwine Earth for 8. Nothing cheeky after this, unless they run Pummel of all things, which I don't think they are. They're on like an Earth Briar, but they're not going to be running that. Interesting. So do we go down to 14 and then just lose to even the Grasp coming in? I don't want to. I'd rather make them actually swing again. So if we block like this, then we go to 16. And then they don't just pop Husk through Grasp. Unless we discard Beast Within. So unfortunately it does give us 1 Blood Debt, which we're not really looking forward to, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah. Can you explain again why Skull Crushers? This list does not need to roll Scabs ever. Only time this list rolls Scabs is to be greedy with Art of War, and honestly that's not worth it to me. I would rather an extra block. And I was running Iron Rot, and I really liked Iron Rot, but I'm running Skull Crushers right now because of instances exactly like this, where you can fill your graveyard with a couple misses that you weren't planning on. Like, I wasn't planning on discarding the Reckless Swing, but because I did, I actually would rather the choice to not break my gloves. And it's not like you have that choice. Skull Crushers is just, it's just going to stick. You're not going to try to roll a 1 and break it. That doesn't do anything for you. Alright, so we can either lead with Art of War for +1, make it a wild ride, or we can try to get lucky with the Beast Within. I think I'm down to get lucky. And we got lucky. Which means we even turn off Blood Debt. Nice. Alright, well, our hand translates really well into Claw Endless Maw. For an 18 damage turn. And doing it both doesn't work. I don't have time. Like, I have a real job, you know? Like, I literally just got off a conference call like 5 minutes before the stream. And I'm about to start a 40 hours a week contract gig. So, no, I just don't have the time. Plus, you know, I can't just spend all my free time on Flesh and Blood. I've got Sandra. We've got the cats. We've got a decent neighborhood. There are things to do other than just fab. What I want to just preserve, though, is traveling and bringing content from events. I really, really like that aspect of fab. And then I also want to keep streaming a little bit. I like 4 times a week is a lot, and it's already falling apart because when events kick up, like I just can't commit that time. But it's really fun. For the most part, just easy interaction. It's a way to play games and be held accountable for some of your plays, which is cool. Appreciate it. Alright. This game is just kind of happening. Really not making many choices, but it's alright. It's one of those games where we just have more damage for once. It's nice. Same thing with travels, judging, and Talishar with an armory once a week. Hey, at least you get your armories in. That's where I'm falling flat. I would love to get more armories in. But there's nothing close, so it's a huge amount of time to just drive out to an armory for like an hour, play the armory, drive back like another hour, miss dinner with Sandra, have to plan for, you know, eating out somewhere. Like, it's a lot. Alright, this has go again? Sheesh. Alright, well, there may have been a pivot, I guess, on their end. Oh wait, what am I saying? Hold up a second. We have Reckless Swing. I'm bad at this game. There we go. GG. Cool. Well, that's the Briar matchup for you. Honestly, that's what Fi is as well. It's a lot of just who drew more damage. It's not the most interesting. I prefer pretty much any mid-range matchup. But that's just the best way to play Flesh and Blood, is mid-range. I think if I had the time to try to spin more competitive and not just be a Levia simp, I'd play Dromai right now. I really like Dromai. It's a very decision-heavy game. Very, very decision-heavy. And I think if Fi gets knocked down a little bit, or if Dromai like really takes off in Dynasty, I'll probably switch to Dromai for bigger events. But no point doing that now. No time. No time. No, Runeblade is playing the game on easy mode. There's no reason. There's no reason to play Runeblade. You are just actively making yourself work worse at the game when you get to play cards like Revel and Gloomveil. 0 for 5s. On Viscerai, to be fair. Like, you're playing with toys that no one else gets. And they're just free value, uninteractable value. That is just too good. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. Like, you know, the effort of pulling off Levia's decent turns is dealing with an actual mechanic like Blood Debt. You need to manage a downside to a hero, where the Runeblade conditional effects are make an aura. It's like, okay, that's what I wanted to do anyway. Like, heck yeah. You mean I'm getting rewarded for doing what the deck's supposed to do? Nice. Alright, we got a Briar again. I don't know if it's the same Briar. I don't think they had a name. I can't put Dromai down since I picked it up. It's so much fun to play, but getting rinsed by Fi and Runeblade all day isn't fun. Runeblade is slightly better than Fi, but still. Oh, Rakaki, I wish you had been at... Alright, it's a different one. I wish you had been at the Battle Hardened then, because there was an almost 2-hour Dromai versus Briar game. And it's actually the Dromai that we're going to have on the channel here, coming up for Friday. Ah. The hat. Thank you, though. It was almost a 2-hour Dromai versus Briar game, and the Dromai did win. And it wasn't so much the Dromai's fault. Brody, the Briar player, will actually just take as much time as he can in like a top cut, because there's no time anyway. So that's what he was doing. The Briar knew what they were doing, and it really was to full fatigue the Briar, and they did it. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. Wow, this hand looks great if they don't swing. That's been the whole FedEx fiasco. My entire... Okay, someone was not aware of the FedEx situation, had to fill him in. You love Dromai, but don't like the play pattern into Fi, which is why you started playing Iyslander. Oh! Well then, when you play a CNC, you give me some free information. I really would love the Graveyard Fill. If this wasn't CNC, it would probably just be Block with Beast Within, Reckless Swing, get it all in there, deal 2. But we might as well hold this, just in case the Beast Within pays off on the pulping. Just in case. Alright, let's see it. Oh my god, of course. Of course, an Art of War off the top. You love to see it. Even so, the Briar might not want to block, to be fair. Okay. We get some damage in. It's not great. But honestly, they didn't really do much either. They didn't make a rune chant. They didn't make an embodiment. Oh, they found a channel mount though. Bramble Spark, okay. That's a non-attack for their next turn. It's honestly okay. If you're calling out Vis as easy mode, Chain kind of varied. He had builds that were a little autopilot, and he had builds that were, like... I don't really know if I would still call him that difficult. He was a deck where you had a lot of free wins just by nature of Chain. Just having more card value, outracing anything. The hard part about Chain was actually being able to win your bad matchups. And if you could, then great. You basically just, you know, read the Discord. You learn the tricks. This already has the go again. I don't know what I'm thinking about. I guess the question just becomes, do I want to Dread Screamer and push 12 on their channel mount because I know they won't block it? If so, then we block with these now. I think we will. There's already been a hit this turn, so the embodiment doesn't super matter. Of course, if there's a snatch, this is a punish, but he might just end the turn here, so I do need to commit the cards. Okay, they did end the turn. Cool. Come in for 12 off 3. It's a good rate. Not a great rate, but they're likely to just eat it because they have the channel mount up, even with an embodiment, so it should be free damage. Watching people do the Eclipse math after Seeds ban was fun. See the smoke come out of their ears. I mean, the thing about Chain was, it was hard to know how good a singular person was at Chain, because the deck really could just feed you wins. And then you'd have like a really good player in the finals of some matchup and be like, oh man, they know the deck, they're so good. Like I lose to them all the time, like they're gonna win this. And then you actually sit there and watch a Chain try to beat Fatigue and then realize, wait, maybe they're not that good. Maybe they don't know how to play it. But then sometimes they will win it. And that's the difference between like an R-Bun level Chain player and then just your average Chain player who really thought they were good at the deck, but you weren't R-Bun. Like there were some people that really see the matrix with Chain and will not ever throw or lose a game or play with a single bit of hidden information. Like they know everything about their deck. They've been counting the pitch stack since turn 0. They know whether or not an Art of War draw is beneficial or not, yada yada. Those people are impressive. But your average Chain in the middle was just your average Chain. Just an aggro player. I personally only met one Chain like that. And that was Hunter. Back in Michigan. He's the only Chain I knew who was actually counting from turn 1. Let's see. Oh wow, they changed what the YouTube layout looks like. And we played a game. And to be fair, I was on Starvo, so it's not like I was using my brain at all. But this poor guy, like he really thought he was thinking it out. And then you just Starvo fuse. And he's like, okay, well, none of my choices mattered. It was rough. It was rough. All right, we have another pulping push turn. Oh, and they played a second channel. Wonderful. Oh, yes. Don't we love it? Okay, we know there are other... Oh, because they actually blocked the Bramble Spark, so we don't know what this other card is. Still, wow, look at that. Would you know it? That's a lot of damage. That is terrifying. Well, we're going to pretend that we discard Beast Within. That's all we really can do. The issue here is our Husk is basically forced, and like, what if their next attack is Snatch? Just, what do you do? Oh, they played out Bramble. What am I saying? They didn't block with it. Okay. Regardless. Or did they fuse it then? Do we know what it is? They fused with Autumn's Touch, which they then pitched. Okay. Well, that next card really could be a Snatch. Huh. Issue, though, would be us going to 14. No. No, I guess we can risk it. It just depends what this next attack is. It really depends. Because we also don't know if Beast Within's going to discard to make us lose life. We just don't know. But as of now, we can go to 18. We go to 18. I think that's okay. We'll say no blocks. It's terrifying. Alright. What is this next swing? They crack Aether. It's a this rounds. Okay. That makes my Beast Within less likely, and they draw into a Snatch, everybody. They did. Alright, so now we do definitely commit the Husk. Definitely commit that. We can either block with a card from hand plus Skull, or we can use the Crown and Scabs. Kind of fond of blocking with this plus Skull Crushers. Make it a clean 10. That way, if we really do discard the Beast Within, Graveling's incredibly live. But, you know, that's hopeful. Like, we just don't know. We just don't know. If we get rid of the Hungering Slaughter Beast, then maybe we just can't turn off Blood Debt, is the other issue. So, I think let's just keep the 5 cards. We can go for the 10 block here. And nothing worth sinking. Actually, I guess it's the same issue though, right? We just don't know we don't know what happens off the pulping. So getting rid of something is just not with full information of the turn. We just don't know. It's like if we push something to the bottom and we draw a Blood Rush, then like sweet. If we draw an Art of War, sweet. We just play that instead of the pulping. But if we get rid of this, we don't know if we turn off Blood Debt. We get rid of this, and then we discard Beast Within, we lose our good rate. So I think we're just going to keep it as is. Screw it. Screw it. Is Levia on this round's on me? If not, why not? I played it at the Calling in Charlotte, and the card was very mid. Okay, nice. Okay, look at this. All right, this is exactly why people do not play this deck. Because after all that, we just discard a Blue Dread Screamer. When there are exactly like, what is it in this list? Like 15 misses in the deck with all these hits in hand. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Now, the good news is, if they block with 2 cards on the pulping, we only take 3. And they're doing that into a CMH turn. But, you know, obviously we wish it didn't happen. Just, it is how it is. And this is Levia for you. Hey, Zakar. Good afternoon. I mean, they really should just block with 2. Regardless of the channel mount getting value, just block with 2. My turn's over, you deal me 3. Right, like it shouldn't even be a choice. Just block with 2, you deal me 3 damage. You actually deal me 3 damage. Okay, wow. Well, they're giving me go again. That is just not correct, good friend. Not correct. We'll get to Arsenal the Graveling, I guess. That really just makes no sense. Why would you block with 1 in equipment? But there you go. People don't read Levia's cards. Sure. Whoa. That's the Briar player. Oh my god. Briar player brain. Yep. This is what annoys me a lot about Flesh and Blood sometimes, is I really feel like I should just stop playing Levia, because everyone I run into just like doesn't think about enough in this game. There's only like there's a lot to think about in Flesh and Blood. It's not just math. It's really not. And I feel like most people just don't think about enough of the game. It's not even that hard. It's not even that hard. There's no permanence. Just look at what's exactly in front of you, look at what you've played, think about what you pitched. Think about what could come next. You know, there's just like 5 steps. All right, well, our hand is pretty forced here, though, but that's fine. That is fine. And that's, I mean, this is my biggest issue with Levia, is I hate how decisions are taken away from you with non-blocks. Like, that is my issue with Levia. That's why Control Levia was my favorite deck for a long time. Because all you had were blocks. Like, everything's about blocking. Everything's about pitch stacking. Whereas hands like this, you just don't have choice. And not having choice sucks. But once again, like, what can you do? Like, literally, we're in a horrible spot now. So this is going to slam into us. They can just pitch for Rosetta, and then we're basically dead. And our hand will not present lethal. But it's really all we got. Because we need to turn off Blood Debt. It's awful. It's awful. When CMH is out, there's an argument to let it hit instead of blocking with 2 cards, as those 2 cards should be like 14 damage. Yes, Levi, but at the same time, blocking with 2, dealing me 3, ending my turn, and still throwing that much. I mean, what would be the math on that? Because what we saw from them, right, was they played E-Strike into Swarming. And they blocked with the Nimblism. So instead their turn could have been just E-Strike, draw a card, snaps 8, plus whatever they draw, which it looks like they drew the Scar for Scar. So if they're going that route, then they should just block with 2, the Swarming and the Nimblism. I guess they don't know they're drawing the Scar, but even if they draw like a blue, they get to just pitch into Grasp Rosetta and stick Channel. Yeah, this is absolutely awful. There goes everything. Down to 2. Okay, well, we are forced to do this. Do we pretend we draw blue? Yeah, we'll pretend we draw blue. We don't draw blue. We did not draw the blue. So all we've got is a 9 damage turn. Yeah, it's either block with 2 or block nothing. Yeah, the block 1 just doesn't make sense. For sure. If they keep the nimblism there, like, I just lose, right? Woohoo! Wonderful. Alright, well, that's a Briar that sticks double CMH, and we don't get to do much about it. Wonderful. Okay, and now we have a 2 non-block hand. Not like we'd survive anyway. Because they played another CMH into this with Go Again Rosetta. Wonderful. Good job, Briar, you did it. You drew channel mounts. Or not double Art of War? You can't double Art of War. You have to banish something. I pitched a red, so that's what my turn was. Pitched a red into Art of War. I can't play the next Art of War. Because I'd have to pitch for it and choose to banish. And I can't. Yeah. Choice is not something you get that often in your bad games. You get choice in your good games. GG's. Oh, Levia. Oh, Levia. Well, you can choose defend from arsenal. You're right. I could just pitch. I could choose +1 defend from arsenal. Blood debt was already off, right? Blood debt was off. Why even try to throw 9? True. Oy, oy, oy. Alright, we can keep throwing our head against the wall, though. Gotta get used to it. Lord knows we're about to spend like 3 weeks on the road with only Levia in our bag, because everything else got lost with FedEx, so... Couldn't really play anything else if I wanted, other than Fi. Alright, we're gonna assume... Actually, this is Talishar, so it might be the aggro dash with the new weapon. We don't know. I'm gonna assume it's more of the fatigue dash, though. Which actually means if it's the fatigue dash, you don't really need this. If it's aggro, you do. We'll full hedge on that. It's the fatigue. 61 cards. Oh, Savage Feast. That's right. Sorry, dude, that's pretty one-sided. Oh yeah, it's not your fault. It's the game designers putting in nothing but 0 blocks in the Brute arsenal. That's just it. They're like, Brutes, we want your players to really not make many choices. We want you to just, slam rocks around. So here's a bunch of non-blocks for you. It's alright. It's my choice to put them in the deck. The unfortunate part is, it's a choice I don't want to make. There's just really not any other good cards to put in the deck. You start to run out of good cards pretty quick. Yeah, unfortunately the card I have is just straight, like my spoiler card is straight, just, non-block playstyle. It does block, but it's for the non-block playstyle, which is just honestly not my cup of tea. It's pretty miserable to play that way. We can leak one if it means we play the Blood Rush. Hard to understand why there are no blocks. No, I mean the way that they design those cards. Okay, nice. We get to swing big. The way they design those cards is around the fact that if Rhinar really was too good, you would have actual 0 interaction games. Because Intimidate is a really good mechanic. Like, Intimidate is incredible. Just to say, you don't get to choose. You must eat this damage. And so to balance the you don't get to choose type aspect that Intimidate can force upon an opponent, the non-blocks are then putting that choice on Rhinar of, well, now you don't get to choose. You must throw this hand, whether you like it or not. Because if Rhinar could just have cards as good as like Wild Ride and Pulping that also blocked, you would just wait. You would wait until you had non-interaction hands. You just block, wait, non-interaction hand, throw 20, your opponent can't stop it, and then just go back. And Rhinar would be busted. Rhinar would be insane. The unfortunate casualty in that is Levia is not busted. Levia is definitely not busted. With the way the non-block cards function, the slight upside is, okay, like I can, you know, oh nice, this is cool. It's like, okay, cool, I can like fill Graveyard a little bit early game, but as soon as the game develops to where you are needing to balance turning off Blood Debt and still applying pressure, and, you know, hoping to block and maybe fill Graveyard if that's in a tight spot for you as well, those cards just fall off in value. They are miserable. They become terrible. Alright, we could block with Hungering Slaughter Beast to guarantee Beast within hit. Actually don't really mind though if we discard the Hungering. This is going to be, to the looks of it, like a Fatigue Dash. I don't really want to waste the Hungering, funny enough. This card's quite good. Because if we discard it, then at least we keep a yellow in hand for attack. I don't know. It probably is better to get rid of it. But the Banish 3s that reset Howl are very, very good. Issue being, I guess we don't really have the Howls right now anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, we don't have the Howls anyway, so actually the card can definitely go. Who cares? Oh, okay. We drew Beast Within into double Graveling Growl. Interesting. I wonder actually... No, because the Hooves trigger would have been on drawing Beast Within, so he wouldn't have cracked it anyway, to be fair. So this hand is just 19 damage. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, they're also card neutral, like Demona pointed out. You're not actually sacking anything from hand, it's just up to what's on top of your deck, which... It's like, it's impossible to build a functional Brute deck without some amount of non-6s. Like, it's just not possible. So there just will be variance in the draw discard off the top, but for the most part, you can hope that it works out for you. Try playing Rhinar and Clash and those no blocks really hurt. Yeah. Yes, they do. They force decision lines that are maybe not ideal, but you must play them. And in like a mid-range or control meta, those cards have a lot more room to breathe. But when you're against Phais and Briars and Viscerais, even like aggro Guardians, you need choice with each hand. You need choice because you need to be reactive to just how ridiculous their turns were for very low effort. And that's when the Brute hands really start to look awful. Alright, our turn is just Hungering Slaughter Beast, Arsenal, swing big. So we can go ahead and block with that. And it really hurts to lose these. But I do want to be card efficient, and it is Graveyard Fill for now, so might as well. I just really want to see a version of Levia that becomes functional without needing to play Blood Rush. Because you can play... Alright, Tinder, calm down. You can play like Hexagore Levia, and it's okay. It's okay. But you have zero shot against any aggro. Like, actually zero. Because your damage is too fair. It's on a clock, it's on a pattern, that aggro just spikes way harder than you do. So you need to run Blood Rush to have any shot against them. And it's really unfortunate because that's like a huge variance part of the deck. Like, I don't want to play Blood Rush. It's a good card. It gives me math that is unfair. But it's also... It's a variance level of Levia that I don't enjoy. You know, if you could play like a methodically paced, just block, ramp, Blood Debt Engine, go again, Hexagore, and like actually expect that value grind to win you the game, perfect. Perfect world. But we're just not in that world. We're not in that world. Like, I'm really not sure what that playstyle beats. It beats like Fatigue Guardian. But it wouldn't even beat normal Guardian right now because they're built to just be beyond aggressive. Okay, they dropped another Teklo. Interesting. I was really thinking that we just block with this on the second swing. Should have been on the first one then. That's all right. We'll tuck these back. Come in for 9. Yep, this card is worth exactly 3, no matter how you cut it. Aggressively, defensively. This card's worth more than 3, though. And they're blocking with it, even on a double Teklo turn. That's interesting. I don't know about that. Like, I think Brute's identity should really live in cards like Swing Big. I freaking love this card. It's so perfect. It's putting choice on your opponent to either respect raw damage or disrespect raw damage. Because that's what Brute has going for it. It does have big numbers. More cards like Swing Big would be perfect. They really would. They really, really would. And this card works without being a Blood Rush centric deck, because this kind of cost curve is great for Levia. You get to play like a Unworldly Bellow into Swing Big. That's 12 damage. It's really nice. It's really, really nice. Okay, how much blood debt do we have in here? We have 2 non-blood debt, so we might not be able to cast Doomsday out now, which is actually fine. So instead we might as well take this turn to just cast out the Dread Screamer into the Swing Big, so we can block with the Graveling. Since we'll turn off blood debt, sure. And it's a Spark of Genius. Okay. So in that case, we get to hold Arsenal then. Just play out the Swing Big, Arsenal Hungering. It's fine. Such a cool design space for Brute. Absolutely agree. And my spoiler card is not in that design space. I wish. Savage Lands politics is simple. Those with the biggest swing have the biggest sway. I don't think I've read that before. That's pretty cute. I dig it. Oh, beautiful. We have a Rouse Hand. Naturally drawn Rouse Hand. Okay, I'm not even sure what they're doing anymore. What just happened? All they did was search Plasma? Did they not have anything floating? I didn't even see. Interesting. Well, I'm not going to complain about it too much. We get a turn out of it. Get a pretty big turn out of it. They love blocking with reds, which I guess makes sense. If they're going for like the, item game plan. Stall out. Build the items up. Oh, wait, actually, what's our miss count? Oh, yeah, so we don't want to close the chain. We do want to banish the misses, which we did. Nice. So we haven't found any Howls yet, but the beautiful thing about playing into Dash specifically with the Howls is if you draw them, just block Pistol with it. It does not hurt you. Just block Pistol with it, get it in Graveyard, not a big deal. In a lot of other matchups, like the Guardians, drawing that 2-block is awful. No, yeah, Pistol Dash does not beat Levia. You're just both raw numbers, but Levia just has better raw numbers. Which is honestly how it should be. Like, Levia is a raw numbers deck. She plays with her damage, like, a little bit unfairly, but it's very telegraph damage. Like, I'm just going to deal XYZ amount. There's not going to be a hit effect attached to it. It is what it is. And the inevitability of building up recursion pieces is also not like an auto win, because the recursion pieces are not inherently ways to turn off blood debt. Like, that's another part that you're balancing around the whole part. The whole part of playing Levia is you need to satiate blood debt. And in a game like Dash, you actually get a lot more freedom to do it because they don't really interrupt you. So everything just comes together and you have a easy game. Easy dash game, honestly. And then we drew exactly those same 2 cards off of Blood Rush that we did before. We haven't turned off Blood Debt, so we could just Art of War banish the Mark of the Beast right now. Sounds fine. Say buff, banish. Of course, then we drew all reds. Not great. Not great. It's alright, we'll get some damage out of it. Not great rate damage, but we are very ahead. Like, we're at the point we don't even need the Howls in play. I'd like them, but we don't need them. I'd rather pull them out of deck with a Shadow Blasphemfet. Unmovable. Okay, well that's an inefficient way to pay for it. Yeah, so I just don't see the dash actually winning this. This is pretty much how the games go. Oh wow. Howl next to Art of War. You love drawing that, don't you, deck? You love it. But now we're in a spot where Blood Debt is actually an issue. We've got the 4 misses here. Art of War playing out turns off Blood Debt, but it then puts a miss in the yard. Blocking with Howl from Beyond also puts a miss in the yard. But maybe it's not that bad this turn. We just block with the Howl. We know that we turn off Blood Debt with Art of War. We banish Swing Big, try to draw into a second Banisher, and then just double clear the graveyard this turn. That'd be pretty nice. I actually quite like that. We'll go for it. Take it. Take it, take it. Okay, so we know Blood Debt's off. We have to hope and pray a little bit on the go again. But this is exactly what we wanted. Okay, good. We have the double banish this turn. This is what I was hoping for. We're just trying to control the graveyard a little bit. Like, those double banish turns are really critical if you don't run Unworldly Bellows, which, in a Blood Rush deck, Unworldly Bellows is pretty tough to fit. It's a good card. I love the red. But, gosh, it really can screw you. It just can. So we're not running it right now. Alright, let's turn down the music a little bit. Yep. Alright, okay, not great. We still left exactly 3 misses in the graveyard on the banishes there. Like, it could be okay. It might be okay. We did draw another way to double banish, which isn't awful. So we'll go for that. Convulsions into Boneyard. Not great. But I do want to make sure we turn off Blood Debt. And then if we get in complete control of the graveyard, we can start Howl looping. And it's no big deal. So, we will play for that. Yeah, this matchup is just nothing but room. Nothing but room to do our thing. It's quite nice. It's like kind of calming, very peaceful. There we go. We're in complete control of the graveyard now. Unfortunately, with the way the banishes worked out, Convulsions missed. So I don't get the +1 or Dominate, but it's really not a big deal. The reason we played that was to control the graveyard. Because now we have exactly what we want for the Howl loop to start getting set up. We can even forcefully fill the graveyard with a Goliath and Hooves at our leisure coming up. Pretty nice. Yep. Looks good from here on out. Alright, so what we could actually do is instead of forcefully use the Goliath now, we could Crown instead. Just because we know we're not using all of this, we can push the Writhing to the bottom. Yeah, actually, Writhing and Arsenal might be what wins us the game. They're getting pretty low. So we'll push the Dread Screamer to the bottom then. Okay, blue. Okay, so now we'll actually just get to go Endless Maw. Howl. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Yep, so now we extend the ability to play without double howl still, because we have the Goliath and hooves. Our spot is great. We still haven't seen either Shadow of Blasphephet, and actually that would be a reason to put the Dread Screamer in Arsenal instead of the Writhing, is straight up that fact actually, that we haven't seen the Shadow of Blasphephet. So we do want to chain those on a turn we've already turned off Go Again, so that we can guaranteed pull out the Howl. That's fair. So Dread Screamer is probably better then. But we do have hooves to force it. We do have that. Oh, and we drew into more Dread Screamers. Okay. So now we can take a bit to refill the graveyard. We can. If he shoots us, we can go ahead and get rid of this. We don't need it. And then we just come in with the Writhing. We don't need to pop any of these now because we got the graveyard fill out of it. We take this. And we could just win off the Writhing as well. We're not entirely sure. But let's see if we do. They're running Sinks, Unmovables, Reinforce the Line. They're on the Fatigue build. The unfortunate truth is you just can't really fatigue Levia, as it should be. As it should be. If you really give Levia room to breathe, then the stress dissipates. Okay, it was unmovable from Arsenal. Stress dissipates, and you can finally get back into control of the game. Oh, look, perfect. What did we talk about? What did we talk about? Beautiful. So we can either block and Goliath, or we can not block into pitch for Howl Goliath, just to make our math better. I think since we could just win. We could just win. They're only at 2. So we're going to make our math better. Oh shoot, we have Reckless Swing. Oh, come on. All right, they legitimately could be running Sigil, so I don't want to play it. I think we win anyway. But this could be the list that runs Sigil plus Healing Bomb. We haven't seen one yet, but it could be, so we're not going to just throw the game. No reason to. No reason to. I mean, we probably should have seen one by now, to be fair. We really should have seen one by now. We're almost at full cycle. They'd have to have legitimately all 3 Sigil in like their bottom 3 hands. But it could happen. It legitimately could happen. That's not the list that this one is? Their item setup would be defensive. Wait, does that list really run defensive items? Like, what are you talking about? Dissipation Shield and all that? Oh, we got a new bot today. Nice, that one's interesting. 69xxx.fun. This is a hybrid list? Okay, well, in that case, we will go for it. Defensive equipment. Well, they did go Iron Rock Gauntlet is the thing. They did. They'd probably also go Skullcap, though. Ironhide setup and Skullcap? Okay, cool. If that's the case, then let's just do it. We win. GG. They'd run Ironhide setup and Skullcap, so it'd be both Ironhide... Oh, because they're running Oasis, right? They do run Oasis. So it'd be double Ironhide and Crown for their Oasis turns. Or Skullcap. Okay, cool. So that's a win. Whee! We don't need Reckless Swing to win, but it is a card that deals 2 damage and can close out a game, so why not use it? Competitive CC. Oh, what's even the record right now? I have no idea. I feel like it's 2-2. It has been great. Has not been great. I'm going to put 2-2. If it's not 2-2, I apologize. All right, this is the same 5-player. So we'll dip. CC testing Iyslander. All right, I'm down. I'm down to play into Iyslander. Let's do it. Hi. Good luck. All right, this is something I'm still a little unsure about as well, is can we get away with running just Carrion Husk in this matchup? Can we actually get away with it? I like to pretend so. I definitely do. Sideboarding, good luck, have fun. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see it. Well, our hand is not very aggro. We can throw 6. But sometimes the Iyslander attacks these days. Alright, so it is the attack Iyslander. Actually quite nice. So legitimately I'm going to... Actually, no. At least block 2 here. Cool cards, by the way. No, thank you. At least block 2 because their next attack at most could be 7. And blocking 2 there only leaks 1, which is fine. We'd leak 1 here otherwise. But this hand leaves us a bit better into drawing into Pulping or Wild Ride. Might be too much of a hedge. I should probably block with Blue Dread Screamer as well, just to put 3 in the graveyard. Yeah, I probably should. But we'll see what they do. They play Insidious Chill. Okay. Yep. So it should have been the Dread Screamer block as well. Unfortunate. Well, we still come in for 6. We can Arsenal the Endless Maw. How do you get the card backs for Talishar again? Oh my god, Tinder, calm down. The card backs come from the Patreon, funny enough. They have it linked where on your account on Talishar, when you click the link to Patreon, it doesn't actually check if you're a Patreon, log in with Patreon. It doesn't actually check if you're a patron for Talishar, it just checks your patronage in general. And if you are a patron to anyone who has those sleeves, like a special sleeve, it will unlock for you in the account. And you'll get to equip it here. See? So, if you are a patron of mine, you can unlock that feature. Pretty easy peasy. Alright, they took the full 6. I can't hate on that. This is a fine choice. Okay. Oh, wow, they go for E-Strike, no Arsenal? Okay, they drew a card. That's fair. That is fair. Okay, well then we should be pretty free to just swing back with the Endless Maw Arsenal Boneyard. Seems fine. We'd also hold the blue to try to not take damage, but we don't know what they drew. It doesn't have to be a spell, right? It could be an attack. So holding the blue might not do anything. What is that? 2 blood debt? This is a bit unfortunate. We had the chance to not even turn on blood debt, depending on the banish, and we left both of these, which is a little annoying. Which tiers? Any? Should be any. Any tiers. The Patreon is not something that I really am pushing for, because I don't have any rewards for patrons. I'm not going to paywall anything. It's not the point. So the Patreon is just there if you feel like supporting through that, and then you get a cool perk out of it in Talishar. So, at least there's some benefit, right? I'm not going to do the whole thing where I have deck text and like, if you want the sideboard guide, join the Patreon. The sideboard stuff, like anything that's not mentioned in the video, is always going to be on the League of Levia Discord. Because growing that community is all that's really worth it. Blocked with the brothers. Alright, this is a pretty easy blue pitch for them because they're going to get to Moon anyway off the amulet. Sea bass that eats grass. Can't believe they haven't fixed this yet to condense or something. This is a very scary start from them, though. Normally, you can try to overrun some of their setup here if you draw your Gogens, which we just didn't draw. And now, with this much setup, we're susceptible to drawing our Gogens and just getting a bit stuck. Because if they crack some of these, we might not be able to pay through the turn. A little rough. Well, I've had lots of fun playing this deck, and I only know how to play it because of you, so that's worth your $5. Oh, thank you, Eric. Appreciate it. This hand leaves a lot to be desired, not gonna lie. Alright, we can pretend. We really can pretend that the turn works out if we lead with Blood Rush right here. But if we draw all reds, the priority window we're giving them is just insane. It's just insane. But our turn doesn't really convert to any other kind of damage, so we are going to do it. Let's see what happens. This is why I only run one claw into Iyslander right now. Rather than put the AB1 in the glove slot, I'm trying one claw, one lantern, because you really don't get Windows double claw ever anyway. Like, it's such a pitch-intensive game plan to just claw. And it's an Aether Ice Vein. Okay, actually, them triggering right now is fine with me. They should have waited. Yeah, I'll discard this. It's fine. The only issue now is the amulets will get to trigger. But I'll have first priority into that, which is not so bad. So we'll try this. The cool thing about pitching this right now is... Well, actually, they can't make a Frostbite because they did play at their arsenal. But this would protect us because of the priority pass here. Even if they make us discard our card and give us a Frostbite, we'd be able to play the Boneyard Marauder out. Which is not what's going to end up happening, to be fair. Now, obviously, I prefer if they just, if they try to go hard and crack these this turn, even one of them, we're fine. Our play works out. But if they also just pass on both of these, then we can swing the Mark the Beast without having to play out the Boneyard Marauder, which is also not so bad. Keeping a 1-cost in arsenal, pretty valuable for when we do draw into the Pulping Wild Ride type stuff. Okay, so they did crack, so we'll go ahead and discard. That's fine. It does ramp up Blood Debt a little bit. But see, this is where we wouldn't even have a chance to swing Claw anyway. And it is sometimes risky to even lead with Claw. If you haven't seen their arsenal, it could be a Hypothermia. And those are awful to deal with. Alright. Nice, we hit one of the misses, which is good. Although we did pitch a Doomsday. That's actually... Doomsday used to be an auto win against Iyslander, but now with the attacks, it's not so much the case, because they can just kill it with a 2-card hand. Like Wounded Bull. Wounded Bull doesn't even need the +1, right? They can just 2-card hand kill it. So it definitely got less important in the matchup, but it is still quite good to be able to cast out the Doomsday. And we're at 5, but we just pitched it to the bottom, so we won't be able to do it this game. Which is a little unfortunate. Okay, so they move to Arsenal here. That's pretty scary, not gonna lie. Right, go away, cat. Go away. Pretty scary. I think we should still probably lead with... it just depends. If this thing fuses, we are really screwed. So we could instead go for a smaller play and just Arsenal the Pulping. Go into it with a bigger hand. I don't hate that. Yeah, I actually really don't hate that. It's gonna be a small play from us this turn, but that's fine. We'll just go for 6. Not worry about clearing the graveyard. No reason to. And go for the Pulping Arsenal. Has anyone been playing Marvel Snap? I actually recently picked up this game, and I know it's very dangerous, but it's literally what kept me awake while driving home. It's like a 7-hour drive home from Ohio, and I had my phone on the dashboard, you know, for the map anyway, and like with my pinky while I'm driving, it was just doop doop doop, playing through Snap. I didn't even know it was made by Ben Brode, who used to be in charge of Hearthstone, but this is Marvel Snap. No one's seen it. It's like a very quick 2 to 3 minute TCG. Very, very impressed. It plays pretty quick. It's very fast. I played it from Ohio to Iowa on the way home. Yeah, see? I think we all got the we all got the bug. Josh can't stop. It really got us, didn't it? I mean, it's free to play. Like, it's actually very free to play friendly. I watched one video that kind of had some free to play tips, and of course I did the exact opposite of them and wasted all the free stuff that they gave me to like buy immediate upgrades and whatever, and it was not worth it. But legitimately, yes, like you do not need to spend money to unlock the vast majority. You just need to spend time. And their ad campaigns are for this quick, oh, do you have 3 minutes? Yeah, play Snap. The issue being, though, is 3 minutes turns into 3 hours, like in the blink of an eye. It's incredible. The game is mad addicting. Right now, I'm like gold. I've been playing it for like 1 day. I'm at like rank 40 something. Okay, this is quite nice. We're getting to the point where I'm not sure I'll be able to use Husk on anything bigger. I'm still going to take the 4, though. Still going to take it. You're in card set 2 now. It's getting intricate. How do you actually get to card set 2? Is it just by unlocking all the way to like 498 or whatever it is? Like, I think the most recent thing I unlocked was... Oh, I don't even know. I don't know. Not that far. I'm on like collection level 120. I don't think I'm very far. All right, so if we lead with this pulping, it can't be a cold snap, so we should go for that. They do run defense reacts though, so that might be a bit of a blowout. 2 10s. And how does it... What's the difference in card sets? Like, it just tells you you can no longer use your old stuff? Or what happens? You just hit card set 2 and it's now just like a new set of things you play alongside the rest? Oh, this was great. This really worked out. Yeah, I saw Brendan Patrick post on Twitter that he hit infinite after playing the game for like 3 days. I don't think I'm quite there. I don't have that much free time, but I'm like gold in like a day of playing plus a little bit extra, so maybe like 8 hours. But to be fair, I was multitasking. I was driving, so I played a lot slower. If there was like a truck or something, you know, turn it off, whatever, you know, just retreat. But if it was just open highway, nothing's going on, then yeah. That's being responsible, you know? I did pay for the Miles Morales Battle Pass, though. I really love Into the Spider-Verse, so I figured if any amount of money even goes to the studio, it's worth it. Make a second one, please. Okay. So right now we can go for the other pulping and then just lead into a claw swing. Or if we get to keep the Dread Screamer, we'll just arsenal the Dread Screamer, honestly. Oh no, we haven't turned off Blood Debt, have we? Okay, so it does have to be it does have to be Dread Screamer, to be fair. That's right, we have not turned off Blood Debt. Forgot about that little stipulation, you know? Miles fan here too. Awesome, Z. I like that the arenas add more combos. That's my favorite part of Marvel Snap so far, is when the arenas pop up and have like really strange synergies that take you a second, but you can like play pretty smart on like your first and second hand after seeing the 2 reveals to like maybe hedge on a third synergy. It's cool. Like, I'm surprised in how fast the game goes, how much decision making there really is. I quite like it. I'm impressed. a little impressed, you know. Okay, so once again, we can just go into pulping in Arsenal here. Feels pretty good. And we might even end up being able to Goliath Gauntlet pulping for Dominate Lethal, maybe sometime soon. Okay, even this hand's pretty good. Because it's 12 damage regardless of what they do. I mean, we can't lead with the pulping though, but we'll lead with the Dread Screamer, no problem. Okay. Set 1 is like playing with a precon deck. Set 2 is Blitz, and set 3 is with CC. I think you mean set 2 is Clash, Alexandros. Come on. Come on. Alright, actually, let me see where I am. You've got me interested in this whole set 2 business. So my issue, here, if anyone's actually thinking of picking up the game, this is what you should not do. You see this right here? Or actually, I'll make the screen big. You see this right here? This fast upgrade? See this fast upgrade thing? Do not waste your freaking money on this. This was the biggest mistake. It gives you all these free monies. The free, like, you know, multiple currencies. There's the whole microtransactions part. But one of the currencies you get, you can spend on these immediate upgrades, which gets you more cards faster, but it's for a really bad exchange rate. And good God, I wasted too much free money on that. It was not worth it. It was definitely not worth it. Now I'm suffering. It's true. What did they do? This is the Insidious Chill. Alright, so I will pay. Actually, no, because this is going to be the end of my turn, right? They're going to make... Cost of 6 is 3 Frostbites. So my turn will be over. So I'll go ahead and discard the Wild Ride. Just get the Graveyard Fill in. I don't hate it. Might even bait them into using Amulet here as well, which would be amazing, because we did already turn off Blood Debt. Very, very key to this turn. We did already turn off Blood Debt. Oh wait, oops. What number was that on? That was, I was supposed to check that. Let's see. I'm on 145. The last dude I unlocked was Lizard. Wow, I feel like that's barely making baby steps. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's a lot to unlock in this game. This is the worst time for it to come out too. Like I don't need these distractions right now, I promise you. I have a lot I need to get done. A lot. Oh wait, oops. Oh, whatever, it's all the same. One pitch saves 1 HP. Whatever. Funny enough, it probably would have been worth to crack Goliath off the go again. Just to break Frostbites if I was able to keep the blue in hand without paying. Because this is presenting 5 damage in theory, because I'm going to spend 1. Yeah, in real world news, you know, like adult life work news, pretty boring, but I am starting this new contract gig that is demanding 40 hours a week. Which is, that's new to me. I normally work very abstract hours. And it might be like 60 hours one week, 10 the next week, 0 the next week, 30 the next week. It's all over the place. But this is a 3-month contract for 40 hours a week with UX writing. That's a lot. And it kicks up in like 2 weeks. So luckily right after Worlds. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Set 2 is 222 to 474. No way. That is so far off. Like, how do you even do that? How do you even do that? But a consistent 40-hour work week where I actually do get to still set my own hours, I think is going to be perfect. My God, if I could have a life like that for the rest of eternity, I could fit everything in. Marvel Snap, travel, flesh and blood, the roller coaster that is Levia. I could fit it all in. Okay. Unfortunately, we can't lead with the pulping, so Cold Snap could still hit us here pretty bad, but we only have to deal with one more Insidious Chill trigger. So I think we'll be fine, actually. We'll Deadwood, and we'll say buff and banish. Actually, do we even want to say that? Because if they Cold Snap, then we can't play out the pulping. So as far as go again goes, maybe we do prefer that. But we're going to banish the Endless Mom, which is going to give us the Swing Big, which, you know, we can pay for with the 2 already. Depending what we draw then, if it's 2 resource cards, then we could play out the pulping, but then we don't know we keep the Swing Big. I'll still say go again. I'll still say it. Let's see what they do. Luckily, by having 2 cards in hand, we shouldn't get screwed with an Insidious Chill trigger to turn off the banish. That sucks when it comes up, but it shouldn't happen here. I guess unless they Stormstarters in... or no, I mean, this could be... That's not fair. This could be a Aether Ice Vein blue. It could be this card. That's their one way to actually do that. Is hit me with that, and then Insidious Trigger. That was not a good game, Clark. Are you kidding me? You gotta understand the flow of a Levia game, and taking 11 because you don't draw a way to turn off Blood Debt, that's not a good game. Sorry. But it was good to run into you. That was very unique. I love seeing people I know on Talishar. Do you like working in UX? I'm in e-learning dev right now and kind of not liking it. You're in a dev program that you are learning remotely, or you are learning about, or no, you are a developer working in e-learning platforms. Is that what you mean? As far as UX goes, some projects are cool, some are not. Some projects are really amazing. Like, I've gotten to work with Amazon, I've gotten to work with IKEA, I've gotten to work with Blue Climate Initiative, ARP. There's been some really, really cool projects to work on. My favorite part about it is the UX research. I love doing the interviews, collecting, expert interviews, stakeholder interviews, just building up all kinds of data on like your users. That is fine. I like it. Reminds me of college, just writing papers nonstop, and it's pretty fun. A lot of human interaction. But then some of the projects are really, really boring. Oh, okay, so we could actually Blood Rush. I don't really want to, though. Huh. I actually kind of don't want to. I'd almost rather just Swing Big into pulping. But if Blood Rush discards the Swing Big, that would feel great. It would. But I don't think we can take that risk. We'll just do this. In theory, we're going to get to pulping into claw, right? It's got to be worth it. Blood Debt's already off. Should be fine. Should be fine. 1 in 5 games, you say Levia kills herself? Yeah, it's about 1 in 5. It's about 1 in 5. But there's nothing to really look into in games like that. Like, that's just the bad game. It's like, yep, 1 in 5. It's a loss. Move on. Whatever. I'm a developer for online learning, working on updating a professional certification program right now. Okay, what don't you like about it? I mean, that just kind of sounds like you're... That's just, yeah. Nothing... If it's just coding all day, I mean, I guess it's up to you to find excitement in that, right? At least UX is not a lot of coding. But I actually don't enjoy the UI design. For the most part, that's like my least favorite part. Is UI design. I feel like there's always so much judgment on your projects. where you're never the one that's most invested in the project anyway. Like, it's not possible. You just aren't. You know, the person who brings you the project is the most invested in it. And you try to match their energy. You try to build them what they want. But if they don't love it, it hurts. Like, I hate that feeling of, oh god. Like, we're just not seeing eye to eye right now. What's up, my friend? I had a new player roll in my shop the other day, and he fell in love with Levia. You were highly recommended. Hey, Wes. Thank you. I mean, that's still how it is, unfortunately. If you want Levia content, it's pretty much just me out there, which, that's okay. I mean, I don't really cater towards the new player experience that much anymore, which is definitely a fault in the channel. Been thinking about post-Dynasty, like go back to kind of the Blitz roots, because my area right now only plays Blitz anyway. So bring it back to the Blitz roots, maybe Clash roots or something, over post-Dynasty, and really try to make new player content again. Because like the streams aren't necessarily new player content. Like Talishar is not really for new players, right? But, oh, discard and mark the beast. Cool. I guess Blood was already off, but that's cool. So, yeah, there's more to do there. Especially since a lot has changed since the last time I did like a Levia deep dive, which was, I think, pre-Everfest. The deck's different, the meta's different. You know, a lot has changed. A lot has changed. Now, post-Dynasty, how's she gonna look? If my card's any indication, they really want to push her more aggro still. I wish she would be more in that mid-range feel, where you don't have to play Blood Rush and you just play for your late-game recursion package. But I don't know. Wait, don't know. It's still unconfirmed that there's talent support, yes or no, in Dynasty. We know Royal stuff is supposedly coming out. Will there be Light? Will there be Shadow? Probably not, but maybe. Actually, I think at this point it's confirmed that it's not out, because people did the whole breakdown of, you know, like where the numbering in the set is. And I think at this point it's confirmed that there's no talents. That's a little sad. Have we figured out if Levia is good or not yet? Oh, Dark Odious, she sucks, dude. I'm gonna play Dromai Dark Odious. Don't you fret. I really do love her. Dromai is quite fun. After going 6-2 in that team sealed, getting second at that 2K, might have to give her another look, honestly. But Levia is still my first love, and she's still a deck that's on the precipice of success. And I really want to get her there. She's very, very close. You need a combination of, like, the right matchups, for one, obviously. You need also to not low roll the ever just... Ugh, you know those games. You know those low roll games that just come up. They're just going to happen. You need to just avoid as many of those as possible. Unfortunately, you most likely need to just realize that one or two come up in an event. It's just how it is. But if you can avoid them, even better. You also need to play perfect. Levia gives you no room for error. And I don't even play her perfectly. I play her a lot. I don't play her perfectly. And then you also need your opponents to not know how to beat you. Because Levia, for a deck that's raw damage, is actually very interactive. There's a lot of things your opponent can track that can win or lose you the game. And most people don't worry about those things. But if your opponent is a Levia player, playing into a Levia, they should be favored. Like, it doesn't matter the deck almost. If your opponent just knows what Levia is doing, and has played Levia enough, and knows the lines, and knows what your hands could be, and knows when to push, where if a bad hand hits you at this exact moment, you lose the game. Like, if they know those windows in Levia, you probably lose that game. Yes, Dromai content. Coming. You betcha. I need to send you the show notes. I haven't really done much of that, honestly. I've been sick, dude. It's been rough. What happened here? Actually, I wonder, it's probably safer there to just go wild right into Boneyard. But that doesn't actually push lethal. It would if I go Goliath. It's actually probably worth it then. Just make this the kill turn, because we can't get screwed by Cold Snap or anything. We had double blue. Yeah, it's probably better, but it's alright. We get this now. We get this now. We can play through one Frostbite. Definitely greedy, though, to throw the claw out. But playing the Boneyard... I guess we already saw that they had a 2-block, so playing the Boneyard is probably just way safer. But this is the line that could just win us the game. And we won't even die to Blood Debt, so I think we'll try it. We'll try it. It's not much coding, mostly putting videos and tests together. Cool to learn video editing. Oh, that sounds interesting to me. I'd love that. A lot of variety in your work. I'm excited for more Dromai content, especially from you. From me or from Darkodius? Because, you know, I don't carry those non-Levi videos. It's up to the guest. Darkodius is the right person to talk to about Dromai, though, I'll tell you what. Someone who's kept his sanity through a 2-hour Briar match only to win it. That's the Dromai you want to listen to. GG's. Alright, I mean, I think my opponent didn't play one of the amulets correctly, but other than that, that's pretty much the Iyslander matchup. The Ice Eternal also... Well, the Ice Eternal was just good enough on that turn. They didn't need to crack the other parts. And then on our end, we didn't actually find a good window for Carrion Husk. But we were definitely in that spot where Carrion Husk probably was worth more blocking even a Scar for Scar than trying to wait. But they didn't throw... I mean, they blocked with these. They only threw one Wounded Bull. Or did they block with that? I think they might have blocked with that. Anyway, that is 4 o'clock. That is my time to depart. I was feeding on Brody's energy the entire time. Fun is a zero-sum game, and I wanted all of it. Man, that kid... It's hard to make that kid sweat, and I think you definitely made him sweat. He's great, though. I'm staying with Brody at the World's Test House in San Jose. So we'll definitely be playing more games. And maybe, just maybe, I can put Dromai together. Because I don't think you run Phantasmal Footsteps, right? Fab TCG. That card I just straight don't own. I wonder if I could build the rest of it, though. Triple Tome. Unfortunately, I lost my tomes, so I don't have those anymore. I do have E-Strikes. I should have the rest of these. I have my Pursuit of Knowledges. Crown. Alright, I don't have this. Alright, actually, other than, like, I think 2 tomes, I could build this list. Alright, I probably will then. After our deck tech on it. Okay, cool. Well, that's the stream for today. You know, it was very news-oriented in the beginning. A lot to share. But I will have to depart now to really get everything packing and headed off to Denver and then Worlds and then Pittsburgh. It's a lot. So it's pretty much all I can fit in was this stream. Tomorrow night, it would be a little too forced. So yeah, sorry about that. But there will still be a video coming out on Friday with a Dromai deck tech. So you'll see more from me pretty soon. And I'll hope to see some of you at Worlds. Peace.